Crunch blasted with Cinetas.
Are officially live. Dog's Den, Wix, Sheepdog coming at you, Wix. First time as a full commentator. Thank you so much for joining us, man, for this exciting matchup. How you feeling, my man?
I'm good. I've got all manner of stimulants next to me here, trying to match the what the Dog Den usually brings on stream. So hoping to have a good night here.
Oh, dude, it's going to be a blast. I can already tell you it's going to be a blast because we have a banger of a matchup ahead. We got Esprit taking on GBI, Gary Busters Incorporated. It's going to be such an exciting matchup. Just preliminary thoughts before we get into anything. We've seen a lot of action between both these teams throughout the tournament. Both have had a good measure of success. Esprit undefeated going from the play-in into the group stage, and then GBI is shown to be a really good team. I mean, what are your first impressions, first thoughts about this match going into this?
I mean, my first thought is this is an elimination match, right?
Yeah,
One of these
absolutely.
teams is going to be done after this. So I'm excited because I think we're going to see everything that they have. There's no reason to hold anything back right now because there might not be a next game.
Yep, absolutely. And, they're this close to the end of this. Going into December is the finale, basically. 3 weeks, there's I believe there's 2 matches week 1 of December, 2 matches of week 2, and then we got the finals, week 3 of December. They are this close. This close. I'm sure they could smell it. I'm sure they could taste it. And they're gonna be looking for blood on a really interesting map too. But let's go ahead and talk about what the matchups are going to be for this week. So we have FOC taking on Syndicate in an elimination match. FOC currently the favorites, going into, I believe it's going to be Saint Mare Iglesia or Saint Mare du Mont. I can't remember.
SMDM.
SMDM. There you go. And Wix, you're going to be streaming that, right? 7 a.m.
Yep.
tomorrow. Yes. So please check out his stream. It's going to be a banger of a match. FOC has been extremely talented, and Syndicate, one of 3 North America teams that are left in the tournament. So both 3-2 teams as well. IR undefeated. IR going into an elimination match against Cerberus. That's going to be streamed by Feet Tony and Winky at 7 a.m. Central. Currently, IR is the overwhelming favorite against the German Cerberus team. And then we have WTH facing off against a surging TL team. That's going to be streamed by Mr. Nitro at 1:30 p.m. Central. Those are the 3 matches for the Group A stage, Week 6. Any thoughts about any of these matchups going into, this is, really close to the end of seasonals.
Yeah, we're getting down to the end here, and I think the benefit of that is there's only going to be great matches from here on out. And the 3 you just went through, I'm excited to be able to watch and or stream and or play in all 3 of those because, it's just great teams left. All the teams that are still around are here for a reason. So there's no pushovers anymore. So
yeah,
anything can happen. Anybody can lose to any of these teams. So it's going to be real exciting.
Yeah, and I'll point this out too. In terms of the odds, TL, who was not a top 8 team, facing up against the top 8 team, is currently the favorite. 147 under, WTH 213 above the money line. So WTH, a very talented team that's kind of had a little bit of struggles throughout this tournament. They are actually the underdog going against a very talented TL squad that we've seen play incredibly. Going into the Group B stage, we have Esprit versus GBI. That's the matchup that we're going to be doing. Esprit, they are the biggest favorites of the... I'm sorry, they're actually not the biggest favorites, but pretty darn close in this elimination matchup. 558 under for Esprit, 3-2, as well as GBI is 3-2 in this elimination match. Refuse versus the Circle, another elimination match which is going to be streamed by Eats While Playing and RZ. Refuse currently the favorites on the beaches of Normandy on Omaha. It'll be really fascinating to see. Actually, I believe that's Utah Beach. I'm sorry. And then Greyhounds versus DC. I think someone put it in the Discord. El Clásico. Greyhounds versus DC. Right now, Greyhounds are the overwhelming favorite. 623 under the line. They're 4-1, while DC is also 4-1. Das Altberg and Alexis are going to be streaming that. So those are the 2 weeks. Man, we've seen a lot of great teams be eliminated, unfortunately. We have the first North American team that was eliminated last week, Broken Arrow, when they got 5-0'd by Greyhounds on, I believe it was on Kharkov. And, but we still see a lot of North American teams still left in the tournament. 3 of them left. We got Syndicate, we got TL, and we got Esprit. So that'll be extremely exciting to see. What do you think that says about the state of competitive play going into seasonals, that 3 North American teams are still left over, only 1 eliminated?
Yeah, I think there's kind of a bit of a shifting around in North American Hell Let Loose over the last few months. We saw my team Helios, that was kind of out on their own, merge with a TL team that had kind of lost a lot of players since their run to the seasonal final. So those teams joined up. We saw OPBHB, who had been a staple of competitive Hell Let Loose for a long time, kind of stop their competitive aspirations. And we saw a lot of those guys join up with Broken Arrow. So we saw a bit of an alignment. And I think it was, unfortunately, fewer teams, but at the same time, stronger teams. And I think that's kind of why you can point to it and say, hey, even Broken Arrow making their first 49s tournament here, making it past the first stage. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
To say on its own. And then, 3 teams remaining, any 3 of those I think could make Final 4, Final 2, and nobody would be surprised. So I think there's a lot of good teams around North America, and we've seen the consolidation, and now we see the benefits of it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, but that doesn't mean that the European teams are not good either. We see Greyhounds continue to dominate throughout this tournament. They've just been spectacular. They 5-0'd Broken Arrow last week in dominant fashion. And DC, for the rough start that they had, getting 5-0'd by Esprit, they came back last week and 5-0'd their opponent to go into this week and not have to face elimination, although against a tough Greyhounds team at that. So they are safe. Greyhounds are safe as well going into the final stage of the tournament. So Unfortunately, the one South American team, Ronin, was eliminated. But other than that, Europe's still showing. And honestly, since we got GBI on the table, Oceania has shown to be really good too. I know Chimera unfortunately got eliminated last week, but they're a very tough team to beat. They just unfortunately got a little bit outmatched, outclassed. I believe it was on Saint Mare Iglesia. I believe it's the match that unfortunately they got eliminated on. But GBI is going to try to carry the torch for the Oceanic side. So, really excited. We do have some really good things in store for the pre-match stream. We have some quotes, and we're actually about to show those right now, from XL and the boys from Esprit. And then later on, we're actually going to be talking to Bear from GBI. It'd be really fascinating to get his take on things. But let's go ahead and get started with the Esprit questions and answers.
Even though we were undefeated in play-ins, we're still in the same position as GBI right now, with one loss away from being kicked out of the tournament, so we're going to be taking this very seriously. GBI is a very good team. They're not something to be taken lightly, so we're taking this very seriously to make sure that we win. GBI has always played really well with their tanks, but we have a lot of faith in our own tankers to make sure that the GBI crews have as little of an impact as possible on the game. So we're going to be making sure that the GBI tanks have to play defensively in their own backline. That's really going to be our priority, in making sure that our infantry supports our tanks to do what is needed. When Omaha first got re-released, we definitely made sure that we sprinkled in a scrim every once in a while on Omaha to make sure that we had some experience. So this is not something that we've never played on or anything like that. I think it was a strategy from GBI and the map bands to try to get us on something that we don't have 20 games of experience on, like an SME or something like that, so that we do really have to kind of start from the bottom with our strategies, but we are pretty confident with it. We're always willing to take an Omaha Axis if people want to force us on it, so we're pretty confident. It definitely means quite a bit to progress this far. I feel like this edition of the seasonal has been the most competitive that it's ever been. There are, of course, still the favorites to win the tournament, the WTH, the DC, Greyhounds, but I feel like there have been a lot of really good and really competitive matches, which I think is a boon to the quality of teams that are participating, as well as the format, I think, has been really well done, and a really good change to make these matches mean a lot more. A key to our success, I feel like we've been running the same structure for 2 years, so it's no longer the case where, you get assigned a role and you only know what you're supposed to be doing. It's really hitting the level where, you know your role, but you also know the role of everyone else on the team. You know what everyone else is supposed to be doing. So it really allows a level of unspoken communication. Even though we were...
And we just shout out to XL. Thank you so much for sending some answers to some questions that we had from us. The first thought that came to my mind when I was listening to some of the things that they had to say was, Omaha was not necessarily their first choice. It sounds like GPI was really the ones who were pushing for, in terms of the map bands, were pushing for Omaha. But they've also said they're ready to go on Omaha. They're ready to go. They've made sure that they've played scrims and throw in Omaha every now and then. So, I mean, Wix, I think it's going to be really interesting to see. Unfortunately, we're going to be able to talk to GBI, but I think it'll be really interesting to see. Does GBI gain an advantage by picking a lesser played, lesser known map, or is it the better team that prevails? I mean, what are your initial thoughts about Omaha and it being a seasonals match with Omaha, which is pretty unusual?
Yeah, Omaha is kind of an interesting map. It doesn't get picked a lot. You don't see it a ton. I mean, it's pretty common strategy, I think, for a team that kind of sees themselves as maybe the underdog to go to a less common map, to maybe see if they could out-prepare the other team. Or maybe they have something, in their back pocket. Maybe there's something they know about Omaha that they've been, practicing in scrims that they've been saving. I mean, we saw a couple weeks ago all the Kharkovs being played.
Yeah.
And I don't really know that anything came out of that was like, oh wow, like all these people had some crazy Kharkov strat that nobody knew about that they pulled out.
Right.
That was kind of strange, but it's still, I think, a popular idea to kind of say, hey, like, do we want to play ESPT on a map that we know everybody, all their main players on ESPT have played, 100 times in competitive matches like SME or something like that?
Yeah.
Or do we want to go someplace where they'll be less comfortable? I mean, it's a legitimate strategy, and you got to do everything that you can. But at the same time, if there's a team that is going to be prepared on a map that they maybe haven't played as much, Esprit's got to be one of the teams that you kind of should be able to count on being able to figure this out and be prepared, just because of the experience they have, the preparation that they go through, and so I'm sure, like, I don't think he's just I don't think it's bluster or anything from Excel to say, hey, we haven't played this map a lot, but we're confident on it, right?
Yeah.
Like, they could have double banned it, but they didn't. So
Right.
they got something up their sleeve for it. It's going to be interesting to see what GBI has too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and XL mentioned this. Like, they're not going into this match unaware that it's an elimination match. Like, they're not going into this as like this is just an everyday match. Like, they know what's on the line. They're acknowledging what's on the line. They're taking it at face value, and they even said we're taking this more seriously. Like, we know that we have the possibility of being eliminated in this match. And what will be really interesting to see is that we've seen a lot of great tank battles from Esprit, a lot of tank dominance. But GBI last week showed incredible bluster with their tanks on Pierre's, and showed that they could be extremely effective too. And I think XL even mentioned, he's like, we know that GBI has good tanks. So playing on a map that they may be not playing as much on, and if GBA is more familiar with it, especially from a tanking perspective. I mean, Wix, you're a tanker, man. Like, does playing on a map that you maybe are not as familiar with as a tanker, I mean, how much does that play in terms of your combat effectiveness as a tanker?
Probably, I would say more so than it does for infantry. I think tanking is more than infantry about map knowledge, knowing the angles, knowing the different shots, knowing the places that you can sit and project power from. And that's not to say that Omaha's a map that's kind of hard to figure that stuff out on, but to a certain extent, like, the more you play a map as a tanker, just the more you really learn about it. So if it's your first or second time really playing it competitively, there's going to be things that you're not going to think of, or angles that you might not be aware of. There's only so much you can find in an empty server, trying to, go through hypotheticals of what if they do this and what if they do this. So, I mean, I think going to a map that is less commonly played, it's going to be put kind of more pressure on the tankers to try to find a way to gain an advantage, because you might not have the same depth of knowledge that you would on another map.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, like, they're going to have to earn this win. Both these teams are going to earn this win. I think that, I mean, knowing Esprit, they're going to prepare. They're going to look for those spots and whatever. I know that, like, there's only so much you can prepare, right? Like, and you're definitely not going to have the same map awareness as you would on a St. Mary du Mont or St. Mary Glace or a Carentan or anything like that. But I think that that's going to be absolutely critical. So, we have, just like I mentioned, we have an exciting guest who's going to be joining us momentarily. And it'll be really interesting to see what his thoughts are going into this match. Bear from GBI is going to be joining us, so, and we appreciate it. I just want to take a quick moment to shout out to our stream manager, Drummer. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without you. And your support and everything that you do. It's just the stuff that I'm not very good at. We so much appreciate it. So in the chat, please give some W's to Drummer, because she's the best stream manager that you could ever ask for. So just shout out to her. And of course, Wix, thank you so much for joining us when we asked you to, because I know that you got a match tomorrow. And by the way, if you haven't followed him or subscribed to him yet, please do. He's got a match at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, which is going to be a banger as well. So please tune into that. It's going to be extremely exciting. I mean, Wix is one of the best when it comes to casting. So you will not be disappointed at all for watching it. So, yeah, and we have Bear in. So Bear, welcome in. We appreciate you joining us, man. It's so good to hear from you, my man. How you doing, man?
Oh, g'day, boys. Thank you for having me. Lovely to be here. Gary Buster's very happy that we made it this far in seasonals. Thank you. Hello, everyone. G'day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We appreciate you joining us, man. The very first question that I have for you is, obviously Chimera just got eliminated to the tournament, which is very unfortunate for the Oceania team. I believe that you guys are the only Australian, New Zealand team that's left in the tournament. But
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the state of Hell Let Loose play for Oceania and for Australia and New Zealand? You guys made it. Both teams made it extremely far in this tournament, which I think is a testament to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, man. I feel like what's happening in OCE is happening elsewhere a lot. We're seeing a lot of consolidating, like a lot of the competitive-minded players from smaller teams are starting to join through into Gary Busters and join through into Chimera, and it seems like we might be the only two OCE teams to reach seasonals. I know 3 Para are aren't too far behind, but we're just seeing a lot of that consolidarity and a lot of the smaller teams that know they aren't ever going to get to that 49s, just consolidating, making Gary Busters and making Chimera stronger, and that's attributed to how far that we've made it into seasonals, both last edition and this edition.
Hey, Bear, this is Wix. Thanks for joining us again. I wanted to ask about the Batman process and how we kind of ended up on Omaha. Was that a specific map that you kind of identified, that you kind of went into it saying that that's where you wanted to play, or were you looking for maybe something less quote unquote meta, or what kind of led you to Omaha?
Yeah. So Omaha is kind of my little secret weapon. Kind of love it. I know it's sort of people hate playing on it. I don't know why people hate playing on it. I love the map, and we figured out pretty early on through just some friendly scrims that the Allies have some really nice truck timings in getting towards mid. If you can manage to, organize yourselves in getting off the beach and getting all the nodes down off the ships, you can find allies in a pretty good spot off the rip. Plus, we did find some cheeky little snipes here and there, wall snipes, just hitting those popular roads and whatnot. So, we put a lot of prep into our open. Last time we faced ESPT in seasonals when they knocked us out last edition, we capped first on Stalingrad against them. So we're pretty happy with that. Obviously, we got engulfed shortly after, and the game was on in 40 minutes. But hey, if we can nail our starts and just adjust to try hold, that's why we like Omaha. And obviously, we did that, superbly against PHX early with the 5-0. So hopefully, just looking to recreate it, just adjust the strats a little bit.
So just a quick follow-up too, and I mean, we're 10 minutes or so to the game time. I appreciate you doing this kind of right as we go into it. So with the 30-minute delay, nobody will be seeing this until after the opening has taken place. And if I can, with that, I'm not going to ask for anything too specific, but is there something that we should be looking for in the opening, something that you can tease us with right now that we should be kind of keeping an eye on for early success for GBI in this game? Is there anything you're kind of willing to share, knowing it won't hit the airwaves until after the opening has already taken place?
Good question. Now, I'll be honest, there's no secret sauce. There's no one play or one snipe that's gonna win us the game. Just keep an eye out for rocket snipes, and keep an eye out just for how we open with our tanks. That's pretty much it. We're going to utilize trying to just splash a lot of HE. We're going to utilize just putting a bit more emphasis on trying to get some snipes down. But other than that, man, there's no real secret recipe. Just sort of a lot of the generic stuff that every team's doing. But hopefully we can splash their OPs on hard cap, delete them off it, maybe get a truck or two, and hopefully get ourselves in a good position off the rip, and then we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, nothing amazingly secret special that's going to win us the game, I'm afraid.
Well, I'll tell you this. We love a good rocket snipe, so we'll absolutely be looking forward to that. We've seen some crazy rocket snipes throughout seasonal, so looking forward to it. One of the things that I'm for our audience who may not be as familiar, if you wanted one thing to be known about GBI, like in terms of the culture or from a competitive standpoint, whatever it may be, what it makes GBI in your eyes?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking that. Gary Busters is kind of more like a, God, I mean, it sounds cringy, but like a list like brotherhood sort of mateship family bond. And the thing that probably sets us apart is as many people would probably be aware by now, is just our banter culture. Just we have a good, one of our sort of mottos, and what we like to tell ourselves is don't take yourself seriously, but just take what you do seriously. So have a laugh. Don't be so PC. Don't be so whatever. Be open. Be respectful. But game time, game face on. But yeah, just absolute banter culture. Up the shreeness, man. Up the seasonal shreeness. Whoop.
Absolutely, dude. Well, I'll tell you this, man. You freaking GBI guys in our chats are freaking insane, man, and we love it. We love the energy, man. The energy may outmatch me, honestly. And I think some would say that's pretty hard to do, but truthfully, you guys do it. So, man, one last question. So, we were talking about, and we asked XL from ESPT before this match about the tank play. You guys showed unbelievable fortitude in your tank play last week, and I know that you guys are going up against a team that's well regarded for their tank play. We talked about the map. I'm sure that's going to play a key part, but how do you guys feel about your chances in terms of the tank play? How much it's going to make an impact? Do you think it's going to tip the scales? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that is a good question. We hold our own tankers in quite high regard, so I think they're really keen to just give ESP tanks a run for their money, and hopefully even rely on our tanks a bit more. I know that ESPT infantry are going to dominate ours, so our sort of plan for this matchup up against ESPT is rely just a little bit more on the tankers for helping out the infantry. And I've got all the faith on them to equal the ESP tankers, or if not, get the better of them probably this game. I'd say, in terms of the heavy stats, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this, XL held you guys in high regard in the tanking play. So, man, Bear, we so appreciate your time, man. I know you got your matchup literally in 5 freaking minutes. So thank you so much for joining us right before your match. And we are looking forward to you guys going up against Esprit on Omaha Beach. So thank you so much. Good luck in this elimination match, and appreciate you having.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Have a good cast. Keep up the energy. Let's fucking get it.
Absolutely. So awesome, dude. That was fun. He sounds like an awesome guy. So appreciate you, Bear, hopping on with us, man. Man, we are 5 minutes away. And what did you think about his thought? What he was saying about the tricks up his sleeve, man. I thought that was a really interesting position to take.
I mean, I think he was telling the truth. I mean, I think that's kind of the reality of this game, is that there's so much going on. There's not really one thing you can kind of hang your hat on.
Yeah.
As much as it'd be nice if he said, "Hey, check out F4. We're gonna have a 76 up on the roof of a building surrounded by level 3 bunkers with 18 repair." Like, there's nothing like that really in this. I mean, like, we've seen people do some kind of nutty things, airhead onto the top of radar dishes and build AT. Like, there's always kind of crazy stuff you can do. But it's a 49v49 game. There's tanks, there's artillery, there's bombing runs, there's all that. There is no silver bullet, right? Yeah. You can do your preparation. Obviously, the beginning is important, but I agree. I mean, there is no silver bullet that's gonna, guarantee or give you a significant advantage. You got to prepare, you got to do all the things right, and you got to hope that in the game the things go your way.
Yeah, 100. I 100% agree, and I think the problem is like, as soon as that first point is capped, and probably even before that, you know, a lot of your plans go out the window, right? Because it's just like, and even I would say, you know, there's so many possibilities in terms of that map layout that it changes things, man. Like, there's only so much that you can do to prepare, and especially when these teams are at the highest levels. And really, I think sometimes it just boils down to these individual moments that, you know, can make or break a game. Sometimes, do you get the kill when there's like just one or two guys left on the point and get to the garrison before another deployment happens? You know, sometimes I think really sometimes that's what these games come down to, and that's what excites me the most. That's what excites me the most, and what I look forward to the most is capturing those individual moments. So, man, I'm just stoked for this matchup, especially since that's only amplified by the fact that one of these teams is going to be going home. So, I don't want either team to go home because both of these teams are so exciting to watch, but unfortunately, one of these teams is going to go home, man.
Yeah, and I think just from hearing Bear, I mean, they have the right mentality, the right kind of game plan to. It sounds like one of the things that I think was really interesting from what he said too was about the truck routes and thinking they had good routes to mid for allies, and that's a big part of it too. So
Yeah.
and then kind of the other part of it too that he said was, you know, hey, we're going to rely on our tanks, and we know that their infantry is likely to best ours, so we're going to rely on our tanks. And look, a recipe for success in this game is to cap mid first, and hold it with your tanks, and don't let your tanks die. And if you can do that successfully, I mean, teams can beat teams that are maybe more skilled overall than them. And, you know, that might be the case here. You know, ESPT is the team that is the favorite, the one that's expected to not be in an elimination game right now, honestly. So GBI caps first. If their tanks can play smart, you know, as that clock ticks down, the pressure is going to build on ESPT, who, quite frankly, is probably thinking to themselves that they shouldn't be, you know, in a position where they're being eliminated early, and the pressure is going to build, and you know, we'll see where it goes from there if that's kind of how it unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's the tough part, right? It's like, you know, they beat DC, right? They beat DC 5-0, and then they come back and they play them again, and they get 5-0'd in return. You know, and it's just unfortunate. They were undefeated going into that matchup, and one loss puts them in an elimination match. One loss. You know, you can play. That's the funny part about this whole thing. They played the best of the best for the first 3 weeks of the season. Actually, it was more like 2 weeks because they went undefeated, so they got a bye week. And unfortunately, just one loss puts them in this position. But that's the excitement of this tournament, right? Like that's the rub of it. Like, man, if you're off your game, like it could cost you, even though you may be the superior time. So we're getting really close to game time. The map has not been flipped yet, so we're not going to switch off just yet. But we're getting real close, man. I'm super excited. Let's just talk about Omaha real quick. You know, from the U.S. perspective, you know, one of the things that they mentioned, that Bear mentioned, was that, you know, if you get those tanks in position, that you can actually capitalize on momentum of movement. They certainly think that gives them an advantage. And I would honestly agree. If you look at West Vierville and Artillery Battery, it sure seems like those points work in the favor of the Allies in terms of first cap. I mean, I would think that getting Vierville, Sumer for your midpoint is worst case scenario for GBI at this point. I mean, what are your thoughts on these midpoints going into this match?
Yeah, I was just pulling up a tac map of it because we're sitting on Driel right now for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why.
We can't really look at it, but I mean, if you just look at like one of the easy things to look at is like the position of the hard point and which side is it more on. Like for sure, that's not everything, right?
Yeah. Especially
when you talk about different routes off the beach, but you know, you got Vierville's on the Allies side. Sorry, West Vierville, the north one. You got Vierville-sur-Mer, the midpoint. The church is a slightly Axis side. And then Artillery Battery slightly Allies side. So that's not everything, but one of the things that is kind of characteristic around these points, and it's similar on other maps, it's not the only one, is there's a lot of open fields.
Yeah.
And that's why capping mid first is, I mean, in any map, it's what you want to do, right? But on these maps where there's a lot of open ground, it can be really hard to retake. Especially when you look at like from the Axis side, like Artillery Battery, there's like one set of buildings to the west of Artillery Battery where you can build one garrison, and there's some hedgerows around there, but there's not a whole lot of avenues for your infantry to push up.
Yeah.
So when you start to when you kind of compare that to what Bear told us and said, hey, we think we got good routes to the midpoint. We think we can cap first. We did it against them before, and we think we can use our tanks to our advantage. You can start to see why Omaha was a pick that they were interested in, because when you have these open fields, what does that say? That says that tanks are going to be important. So, you can start, but it works the same the other way around, right? Like ESPT, I'm sure has great routes going. I'm sure they're well prepared, and I'm sure their tanks know that if we cap these midpoints first, then we got to just shut down the limited avenues for infantry to approach and ride it for 90 minutes. So it's really the same for both sides. I think a lot of the outcome of this is going to come down to who caps first and kind of what happens in that opening few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I think, one of the things that's really interesting is like, like let's take West Vierville, for example. I mean, like, what are your avenues approaches? It's mainly through freaking wheat fields, man. Like, that's what's brutal, like there's a lot of buildings on West Vierville to disguise infantry play coming in, like trucks coming in. But once you get solidified into the point, it is so hard to get back into it, to try to take it back from your opposing force. And so I think that it's going to be capping midpoint on this map is going to be so critical. I know that's like the stereotypical thing to say, right? Like that's the stereotypical thing to say is like, whoever wins the match is probably the one that capped midpoint first. But we've also seen too teams trade midpoints throughout this tournament as well. So I'm really curious. Do you have any predictions? I hate to put you on the spot like this, but do you have any thoughts or predictions about what you think this is gonna do? Where you think this is gonna go?
I mean, my prediction. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be breaking out the hot takes here.
Okay.
For anybody that wanted anything, any spicy kind of opinion here, I'm going to go with the easy one because I think if I'm gonna say that it's a prediction, if I'm gonna say that this is what I think is going to happen, I mean, ESPT is a team that most people think is going to win. There's a reason for that. I love GBI. I think they're a great team. I said it earlier in the pregame that there are no bad teams left. So it's real hard to call some of these. But I think ESPT is going to win this game. I don't know. I don't think it well, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but I think even if GBI caps mid first, I think ESPT is going to be prepared with a way to get it back. I think ESPT is too good. I mean, we'll see how it unfolds, and for sure, it's going to be a close match. I don't see this going 5-0. I don't see it going 4-1. I think we're going to be here for 90 minutes watching a 3-2, but I think in the end that ESPT's the better team.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say 3-2. I would say 3-2. Do they push outs? I mean, it's certainly possible, right? Like, we don't see this map very often in competitive play, so it's kind of hard to tell, are teams more aggressive on this map or not? From a pub perspective, which I know is blasphemy. Very hard to take these points. Because, like, now, I'll say this, though. If it gets 4-1, it's going to go 5-0. Just based on the positioning of the points, like the points are, especially on the US side, like if Esprit gets to WN70, WN71, or WN73, they are going to 5-0. They're going to. It's just literally like it's just a little stroll to the beach after that, and then they have the high ground on top of that as well. So just so tough. But like you said, lots of open fields on these midpoints. I think it's going to be 3-2 Esprit. I really do. I could be pleasantly surprised as well. And I think regardless, if it goes 3-2, we're going to see some exciting stuff happen, man. Like, I think people are just going to be freaking going balls to the wall. Aussies are crazy, man. They can pull some wild stuff. We've seen them do some, like, especially from a Chimera, we've seen them pull Stewarts and Greyhounds all the way behind the lines and get behind heavies and take them out. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff, man. So I'm super excited. We still have not seen a map flip yet, so we're still waiting for this match to start. In the immortal words of Mr. Nitro, it wouldn't be a seasonals match if it started on time. So we're still waiting. But yeah, Drummer posted a question. She said, "What is the weirdest Thanksgiving food that you've ever eaten?" Wix, do you have a take on that? Weirdest Thanksgiving food that you've ever had?
Weirdest Thanksgiving food. I'm trying to think.
It's a tough one.
The only thing I can think of is like so here's what Thanksgiving at the Wicks family household looks like a little bit, because my mother and I and everyone, we are eat anything, right? Then I have one brother who is a vegetarian and another brother who's a vegan.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So like my poor mother making a turkey but also a tofurkey.
A tofurkey, dude?
Which would be a tofu-based turkey substitute. She's got to make corn, but then she's got to make corn with fake butter, right? She's got to make stuffing, but then she's got to make stuffing that wasn't in the ass of a turkey, because a vegetarian's not going to eat that, right?
Yeah.
I would say, like, the tofurkey is the weirdest thing. I don't know. Like, it's not bad. It's not turkey. I'm sorry. I'm a meat eater. I applaud people that do that stuff, and that's great, but just not for me.
Yeah, that would not be for me either. I think a turducken would be really weird. I've never had it before, but like basically a turkey stuffed in a duck. I believe that's how it is. I can't remember. It's a weird combo. I'll tell you what. I live in Texas, so we've had pulled pork, we've had brisket for Thanksgiving, in addition to the turkey, right? Like, you can't get past the turkey and the ham and all that. But let me tell you, man, like, us Texans, we love our barbecue. M80 would tell me, Kansas City barbecue is the best, and I'll grant him, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, but man, Texas brisket, man, Texas pulled pork, man, it's hard to beat. It's really hard to beat. So that's probably a weird Thanksgiving take, though, because people aren't doing brisket and pulled pork for Thanksgiving, but I can't imagine tofu either for Thanksgiving. So I think that's a way weirder food to eat on Thanksgiving.
It's made to kind of look like turkey.
Yeah, but you just know, though, right? Like,
how
far? I mean, surely
you're not
going to
confuse anybody.
Yes, yeah. You're not fooling anyone with that. You're not like, oh wow, this turkey's great. No, it was tofu. What? No, it ain't like that. But I'd be curious in the chat. I'm not seeing it yet, but what their favorite Thanksgiving take is. I got a question for you. Since you've been in the competitive scene for a really long time, for someone we're seeing. I know that there's been some weird stuff. One of the things that they Bear mentioned was the consolidation of teams, right? You mentioned that too with Helios and with OPBHB. But we're also, from my perspective, I'm seeing a lot of new faces in the comp scene as well, or people trying to get in. If you're going from being a glorified puppy to trying to make it in the comp scene, what is your advice to that person?
I mean, my advice is to just try and expose yourself as much as you can to it. It is really so much a different game. If you can get in, as many scrims as you can, as many, like Friday Night Fight type deals, like more organized games are going to be closer to, a competitive game than it's a different game style. To be honest, I mean, I just think about it from a tank perspective is like, you play pubs, and I mean, even when you're in a good game on a good server, it's like, what happens in a tank battle is there's a tank sitting there doing whatever they're doing, and then the next team brings up their next heavy, doesn't get called out, they get the first shot on that guy, and then they kill him, and that's the end of it, right?
Yes.
The thing about tanking and competitive is that you basically have to assume and play as if there's a mark on you at all times, almost no matter what, and that results in a different style of play. Like, you can't just take for granted any tiny opening, because if you sit somewhere and you're called out for a long enough time, no matter how safe you think you are, they're going to try to get an angle on you with an AT gun, with a tank, with whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you have to put yourself in those kinds of positions in order to, acclimatize yourself to the style of thinking, the thought process, just checking like things off in your head, the way that it goes. You have to get used to that. And no amount of playing in pub matches will really prepare you for that. There's things for sure that you can practice in pub matches, but that kind of, metagame type stuff, like the bigger picture type stuff of like, you have to play as if there's constantly a target on your back, in a tank, for instance. And there's other stuff for infantry. I mean, infantry is like, you have to be prepared to just slam your head against the wall for 90 minutes, like play in the exact same part of the map for 90 minutes, right? That's something that you won't see in a pub match necessarily. But yeah, I mean, just expose yourself to it. Like, teams always need fills, so try to make some contacts and get opportunities to fill with other teams. And man, just do it as much as you can. It's so much fun.
Absolutely. You know what's funny? I'll bring this up real quick because I saw this in the chat. I don't know if Adners is your boy, but the boy posted, in the digital Warzone's tactical dance, Wix reigns supreme with just a glance, a sage in strategy, a seer in play, and hell let loose, he leads the way. With wisdom vast as the virtual land, he guides his team with a knowing hand, in each move a story of insight, Wix the genius shining bright. Shout out to Adners for the W's on Wix, man. Like, I love that. That's awesome. But
yeah, Adners is a teammate of mine from Helios. He was a fellow tank commander with me back in the Helios days. He doesn't play as much anymore because he got a different kind of job. But I could tell you what that is. That is not him being delusional or him being paid off to write nice things. That is some kind of AI generated text.
Is it Chat GPT?
It's something like that. I don't know what it is. It's probably Chat GPT.
That's
but, he likes to play around with that stuff, so he's probably got some more.
Yeah, well, shout out to Adners. Shout out to Adners for that. That's freaking dope, let me tell you. That's awesome. Yeah, but going back to what you were talking about, that's a really good point, and I think that one thing that you see in pubs is just a lot of times it feels like it's just independent play, not always teamwork. Now sometimes you get like magical squads where everyone's got a mic, right? Everyone's working together. But it seems to me, from a competitive standpoint, in my limited experience, mind you, the teamwork and the trust that people have in one another is unparalleled. And that's probably what I love the most about Hell Let Loose, and why I think comp, in a lot of ways, is maybe blasphemy to some, is a very indicative and representative of all the good things of Hell Let Loose. Because it requires selflessness. It requires you trusting not only in the people in your squad, but the people in leadership to do their job. But also, like, when you see someone, not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's slacking, right? I would say it's more of like, just things happen. Being able to pick up the slack and help your brother out. So, and I think that kind of speaks to what GBI was talking about, where he was saying basically we're just a group of brothers, man, and we love the good vibes and all that. So, but also I'm not on beers. I don't drink. So, this is root beer. I wish we were sponsored, right? But this would be the time to sponsor. By the way, Matt just is about to flip in about 30 seconds. So excited. We're about to get underway. Wix, any last thoughts before we get into this?
Should be an exciting match, man. Elimination match, like no reason for anybody to hide any strat whatsoever. You got the kind of more Cinderella type team in GBI, not expected maybe to make it much further than this, and then you got ESPT, who it'll be a big disappointment if they go home early. So those are the stakes. Everybody's gonna bring whatever they can, and it should be fun.
Yeah, is it bad if I say like I'm rooting for both teams, because I love a good underdog, but I love me some North. So I don't know. I'm rooting for both. I have a spree winning 3-2, but truth be told, I think GBI has a shot on this.
Oh, for sure. Both GBI has a shot. I don't want to undersell them, any tiny little bit. For sure, there's a favorite, but hey, man, there's a reason that we're here playing the game, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So we are set to go, man. Like, this is exciting stuff.
Get out.
Exciting stuff. So let's see. There we go. And fortunately for us, we have both maps available, so we're going to be doing some map time as well. Let's go ahead and look at the map. Arty Battery is going to be the midpoint. Church Road, WN70 are going to be the second and fourth points, and then Leisle and the Draw are those outside points as well. So, you know, Arty Battery probably more in favor of GBI. Just with initial thoughts, what do you think, in Wix?
Yeah, I think Allies have got to be happy with Artillery Battery coming up. I mean, you just kind of look quickly at the map and you see how much more cover and how much more stuff there is on the east side of Artillery Battery versus the west side. So, you know, that obviously gives a lot more opportunities for elevation, for cover, for sneaky angles for tanks, for sneaky angles for infantry approach. So I think Artillery Battery, I think GBI's got to be pretty happy with this outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I would 100% agree. So, we'll see how it ends up turning into, but you know, we're getting pretty set. Let me take a look and see, do we have the tanks lined up? Am I on the lawn? I'm really curious. You know, they talked about the positioning. Really curious where they end up lining up at. They may not already be there. There we go. So you got the trucks already ready to go on the south side for GBI. 2 transport trucks. No tanks yet on the south side. I don't know if they're trying to get those tanks out.
The medium tank's pulling up on the
there
south
we go.
side.
Yep, there it is.
2 Stuarts a little bit north of that. They have 1 Greyhound going on the main road out.
On the main road. Okay, copy that. So, yeah, you can see that Greyhound. One of the Greyhounds pushing up on the mid. So they're going to push that medium south. And I guess the Stuarts are going to go more mid.
What does ESPT have?
We're taking a look. So they got a Lux and a medium Panzer IV on the north side, Puma at Leisles, and then they're going to push a Lux all the way down to the southern border.
5, 3.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. Let's see. I got to turn off my chats. Shoot. There we go. And we are underway. I'm excited for the truck snipes. Here we go. Supplies already dropping for Esprit on the south side. Southwest of Arty Battery. That's going to be right on the map border as well. Supplies dropping at WN70. And here we
Got
go.
2 trucks here in view myself. We'll see what...
I'm watching GBI. I'm waiting. There's 3. Look at this. Magic Battle Toast and Flying Dog. All ready to go. There was a rocket snipe. Let me see if I can get a look at that. Look at that long shot. Coming in. It's close to this. Oh, just a little bit early. Trying to get that transport truck. But we got the transport truck already making its way on the south side. Rocket Snipe missed on the Lux. The Lux coming in south, but Rocket Snipe's already coming in. Lots of Rocket Snipes. It was really interesting to see 3 AT guys on the rock side just ready to go. They were waiting. And we got an immediate cap pressure already for Esprit. Transport truck just driving straight into the point, but GBI getting squad leaders and infantry in. Already got contact on the point. First kill's gonna be for GBI. And look at this. Esprit already getting into the bunker on the point.
Yeah, we just see a lot more red than blue right in the area. I don't think there were any full truck snipes. I did see very late a GBI rocket did get a couple people out of the back of an ESPT truck.
OP is down. I can't even say the name. Villain and McKelly getting the OP. Against GBI, they're going to lose a lot of pressure here on the center point. Just like that, Esprit getting the contact. Going to get a little bit wider. Let's see what's going on. Out wide, we got some infantry for GBI on the south side with the Lux. Laying down hate. Here comes the medium Sherman. Coming in on the south side. The Lux has been hit by the Stuart. Oh, he's going to go down just like that. Arcaden and the boy. AT takes him out. Lux is down. And we already have armor superiority on the south side for GBI, so they may be losing the point, but they're solidifying themselves on the flanks. But nothing is solidified on the center. I think that may be the key to losing this point, is Esprit just made great infantry play, taking out the OP on the east side of Artie Battery.
Yeah, really no one from GBI still anywhere near the bunker.
No.
Unfortunately, so that's going to be a straight, easy cap for ESPT, but still a lot of time left, obviously. GBI is going to set up and get ready to try to retake.
And just like that, there's a hit on the medium Sherman for GBI, taking on the Panzer IV. He's going to back up. I think he's going to have enough time to repair. Got enough cover to repair. Stewart's just driving around like a maniac for GBI. And you can see here, Esprit has already pushed back the bunker. That's going to be a point taken for Esprit. There we go. So already Esprit making the cap. We're seeing a pretty wide line for GBI. They have a pretty significant pressure now on the mid. They got the overwhelming numbers. We'll see if they're able to push in. That's another AT shot on the medium for GBI. AT guy running around the side. US Ranger trying to get the angle on him while they're repairing. Can he get it? He's back in the tank. No satchel. I think he's out of rounds, unfortunately. So US Ranger not going to be able to get the shot. Down he goes. MG on the south side. That's actually the Stewart. And let's go ahead and take a look at that medium Panzer IV. It's around here somewhere, real close. There, yep, there it is.
He's lurking on the west side there. One shot into the Sherman.
Yeah.
Kind of just pinning him down right now as they finish off their repairs.
Yeah, can't move. And Stewart doesn't have the angle on him, unfortunately. At this point, they're just gonna have to wait patiently. And I think Esprit has a real good strength in that. Their patient tank play ends up usually working out for them. And we can see Esprit is already adjusting. They spread out on their line on the south side. Not a whole lot of resistance from GBI on the south. Mainly the push is on the mid, but Artie shots raining down on the building near Scriv and Battle Toast. Artie laying in hell. And Lust I Love Feeling goes down to Tazi. And GBI Terry as well, taking up the house. We got... Oh my gosh, I think the Artie shot just took out a guy in the building. And the Spree making the push on mid. And let's see if we can get some... I just heard a shot on the tank. Just heard a shot on the tank. Not sure what that was. But we're getting back into it. Sorry, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, but we'll get that back up and running. There we go. We're back up and running. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this GBI push through the mid right now? Do you think it's going to be enough? I mean, it looks like they have a little bit of a numbers advantage, but they still have not been able to push out beyond the buildings, and Artie shots are just raining hell down on GBI here in that mid push.
Yeah, I think this has been not the start that GBI wanted. I mean, they really got pushed off the hard cap really, really quickly, and even now are getting pushed back through the set of buildings on the east side of the hard cap now. So they're losing ground even still. So not the opening you wanted to see. Still, they haven't broken yet. Nothing major has happened, but they got to recapture these houses on the east side of Artillery Battery, because that's where they're going to jump off and start to infiltrate the hard cap from. But they got to get the buildings on the east side first.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a look. There is Esprit guys already on the beach side. Corporate Slave making a push. They're not settling for 3-2. They're pushing in. They're going to try to get some type of cap pressure here. And down goes a squad leader. Fisto goes down. There's only one guy left. 2-1 onto WN70. Let's see if they're able to capitalize and get some cap pressure. And this may be...
There is a supply drop just south of where you are right now. That looks like it's where Corporate Slave is headed.
Yeah, Nut Venus goes down. That's it on the point. That is it. One guy on a spree may start the cap pressure here. There's one more squad leader Fisto on the south side, so no cap pressure yet. But he's got a couple of infantry coming in with him for Esprit. We'll see if they're able to capitalize. But just like that, I mean, nothing yet. But we'll have to keep an eye out. Let's go ahead and go back to the point and see what's going on here. We saw that there was a garrison for Esprit up on the church. Not a whole lot of action going on. I mean, what do you think is the importance of the church right now? It seems that's the hard part. It's so spread out. There's such open fields. I mean, oh, look at that. And just like that, flying dog taking out the garrison on the church. It is gone.
Yeah, I mean, the church is a point of elevation. There is a tower. There is a way to get out onto the rooftop, actually. So it is some high ground from which you can, get an MG up there and cause some trouble. So, for sure, you're going to need that as one of the areas you want to control, if you're defending or attacking artillery batteries. So that's going to be a point that's an area that's going to be contested off cap the entire game.
Yeah. The tough part is, I mean, you can control it, but where are you pushing from? Is mainly to make sure that guys are not flanking you around the north side, right? Because you don't want guys coming around on your west flank at all. And we got a Panzer IV still in play for Esprit up on this south side, laying down hate. Not sure if he's engaged with armor, but he's pushing up on that south side. GBI still maintaining pressure. We still got one guy for Esprit. They set up a red line garrison in the corner, but it is currently locked for Esprit.
Do you want to pull up the map side by side?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and do some map time real quick. And so give me 1 second. Having a little bit of an issue. Hang on 1 second. We'll get your map up here. So sorry about that. Beautiful.
Yeah, so while you're looking at that, this garrison down here, Corporate Slave got up. There is a GBI garrison really close to it. That's why it's locked currently. It's going to be hard for GBI to find this garrison on the cliffs down here, but we already see them harassing a GBI tank that has barely even made it off the bridge. Yeah. Off the beach, I'm sorry.
And so sorry that we're having technical difficulties with the maps. So we're not at this time able to pull up both maps, unfortunately. But we'll go ahead. We'll make sure that we get some map time for Esprit side. They have got a garrison. Esprit has got a garrison up in F5, keypad 3. So right on the blue line for them. We have a two-man heavy here on the south side. The Tiger has been hit though. Backing up a little bit. Not sure if it was AT taking him out, but he's got two AT guys really close. GBI making sure that they get their AT guys in play, and this Tiger is going to have to back up and get repairs.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, part of what's playing into this as well is that the first 76 for GBI, they sent one guy back to try to drive it up, while maybe the other two guys were doing something else just to try to keep them productive. The first 76 started driving up the cliff. It drove right into Corporate Slave Squad, who had an AT on them, and started shooting rockets at them before they even got off the beach, basically.
Wow.
So that's delaying that 76, who's now got a squad leader escorting him as he makes his way through, but Corporate Slave still lingering on that cliff.
And that's just absolutely brutal. Look at that deflection. Magic trying to get a shot on this Panzer IV. And this Panzer IV is rolling around. He is not happy. And he's just going to sit up here. Infantry, down goes JJ. Tawzy getting him out, but Magic goes down in kind. And so does the squad leader, Villain, getting the OP. And down goes Villain, just clearing out that OP all by himself, but he's got an OP real close to him. Bear, the guy that we talked to earlier in the chat, is the squad leader real close to Villain for Esprit. But he's got tank support as well. Already laying it down on Esprit here. Just east of the point. They're having to roll back to Artie just a little bit. Esprit down. Oh! Shots raining down in Esprit. That's cleared the game a little bit of space here. Still got that Panzer IV though. That's east of the point. We'll see if they can get the room. Flying Doge AT guy running up. Can he get around him in time? Get an AT shot. I don't think he's got damage on him yet. Is it a satchel or is it rockets? It's rocket for flying dose. One shot in the rear on this Panzer IV.
He's gonna try to put his back right to that wall and not give him another shot.
Yeah, a smart play. US Ranger gets him. And just like that, I mean, that's what you need, right? That good infantry support, even if it's just one guy. And now they got some reinforcements coming into play for Esprit on this Panzer IV. And right now, look at that right there. We still got a Stewart in play for GBI. He's rolling up, but little does he know, there is a Tiger and a Panzer IV north and south flanking him. He is hit too. Rolling in. Down goes the Stewart. Maki getting him down. And Esprit is just pushing this line further and further on GBI. They have literally pushed them beyond their red line. And just like
we saw a few minutes ago, it was that western road. You can see that yellow road forks, and one goes west by artillery battery, one goes straight south. It was the Westmore of that forked road. Now we're on the east side, street to street, house to house fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. So you see a little bit of a push by Esprit northwest of WN70. It's kind of a hard push, but at the very least, they are circling around the GBI squads that are still on the G line. And will be interesting to see GBI holding it down on the south. Snack taking out the guys who were pushing south. And now they're going to have to redeploy option squad up on the south side. Artie is now pushed out further east for Esprit. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to get a flank. Indigo still up on this east side. He is just hiding. People searching around him. The garrison is gone now. Prawn Hub, the commander. Is that the 76 that you were talking about earlier? Is trying to get up. I can see that's Pan up on these rocks trying to get past. I mean, that's going to cost some time, man.
He was up on the edge a little, like on the top a little while ago. He chose to reverse back down and go up a different way now to reposition. But corporate slaves just hiding in this bush, probably letting his team know where that tank is at all times.
Yeah, the intelligence absolutely critical. I mean, this tank is struggling to get up. I mean, that is just brutal. And they need the armor support right now. It is just not there for them. As Esprit just continue to move along this line, they have a pretty good stronghold. I mean, if you can hold this line for the entire match, I mean, you're pretty well set. It's going to be extremely hard because you got to push them back into the fields, right? Like, take up the hard cover positions. Get your armor support, and just like that, Funny Yam took it out. Two GBI guys. But down he goes to the Mo. And he said, give me Mo.
Well, what we see GBI really have risk of right now is losing possession or any kind of foothold in these buildings.
Yes.
And if that happens, I mean, just look at the ground east of it. It's absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
They're going to be pushed back to the area around Win 70. There's not going to be good avenues for them to approach. There's almost nowhere for their armor to really get cover in those areas.
Yeah.
So it looks like they still have a bit of a foothold here in the south. But, man, they're really close to losing any kind of presence in these buildings, and that's going to be incredibly difficult to recover from.
And they may start losing this with that Tiger in play on the south side, just raining shots down on GBI on the south side. No infantry support yet. Well, there's XL, the guy that we got the recordings from earlier, we listened to earlier with his answers for Esprit. And they're starting to make a little bit of a push. This building is absolutely critical here on the south side. And XL going up against Sweet. He doesn't know if he's around him. Sweet doesn't know either. Even with the shots, he's not aware. And if XL can get a foothold, he's sending it OP, but he's got guys around him. Down goes the Mo. Fuzzy takes him out. He may lose the OP here. Great save. Great save by GBI here on the south side, but unfortunately, still got a Tiger in play on the south side for Esprit.
Yeah, I think we're really close to our first heavy-on-heavy engagement here. The Tiger is staring. Oh, there's the second 76 gets the first shot.
Just as you said that, this Tiger's gonna have to get back. I think he just got a shot as well. And he just missed just got behind just in time. And this Tiger is now gonna have to repair. So you're telling me there's two 76s for for GBI here. There's one, and he's been hit, and he's moving across the open field as well to try to get position. Yep, there it is. There's the second 76 for GBI.
76, if he keeps moving, he's going to get an angle on this Tiger, maybe.
He just deflected. He just deflected up that Tiger.
Now we have kind of a 2v2 situation developing. There's two on each side.
It's going to be really interesting as well. Yep, there's that second heavy. Second heavy. His repairman, one of his crewmates, just went down. So Relic and Toxic are going to have to deal with that, and they've been hit. However, there is a second heavy. There's the Tiger. Hodge is in play. I mean, down goes the Tiger! And now it's 2-on-1 for GBI in the tank game. One Tiger in play. He's got not much of an angle from his position here. He's going to have to play this very carefully. And this may be the opportunity that GBI needs on this south side to get some type of a foothold. Because let me tell you, Esprit is not letting them get any foothold anywhere else. So maintaining this building here on the south side. Already raining hell down. Gets the spotter on the north side of this building.
This Tiger's got to start thinking about avenues for escape, because the infantry presence here is not really to their advantage, and he knows there's two 76s that are just waiting for him to pull forward and expose himself to that east. And he might not know exactly where that second one is. I'm guessing that the one that killed the one Tiger is not called out because that Tiger backed up right into his vision. So
yeah, absolutely. And they're right now maintaining a long position here on the east side. Not a bad play, but and fortunately for GBI, that Esprit bombing run did not take out a whole lot of guys. I'm not sure if there was a garrison on the south side, but they are maintaining position on this building. And Cook just laying down shots, but he gets shot out by Hitman Alex, and Hitman Alex is going to push out east, try to get behind him. But he's been spotted by Beavers. And let's see if we can go ahead and get eyes on this northern approach. And you can see here, Esprit basically setting up an L-shaped ambush on WN70. They are starting to push out east. They got a supply drop just due west of the draw, right on the backside line. And we got a squad leader, Villain, pushing in the open field towards the point. And look at that, just a shot coming in. They got some armor support here. That medium raining down shots on the north side of the point. It's going to get really bad. Jaeger getting a two-piece. Jumps up, gets a con move, takes him out. GBI Terry right next to him. Yeah, it's a 2-on-1 here on this north side. Terry doesn't know the dude is there. Oh, does he? Gets Jaeger. And Easton right on the other side of the building. Oh, it's just close engagement here. Terry gets him out and he maintains position. What a clearance by GBI here. And there's still, GBI still fighting back. Getting some good clearances, but right now the position game is in favor of Esprit. You can see on my map just a wide line for Esprit. They are pushing the line for him. They dropped the supplies, but now the supplies were immediately taken out, so no backline Gary yet. No red zone Gary for Esprit yet. They're going to have to push via OPs for now.
Yeah, I think one of the good things we've seen in the last few minutes for GBI is that Corporate Slave and that infiltration squad back on the east side appears to have been completely cleared out. I don't see them anywhere back here. So GBI cleaned up their back line, and that's going to make it a lot easier for their logistics operations, moving their trucks around to get garrisons up, and obviously their tanks as well. So that's good on them. They were able to clean that up, and they can just focus on what's in front of them now.
And there's a good shift by Artie as well for GBI. They've started to rain Artie down near Fox OP. You can see here right where Clownface and his boys are at. They are getting hammered by Artie. Really tough. Panzer IV rolling in on the north side. He's going to flank. This is a really bold strategy with those 276s, but they may be distracted by that Tiger. And Artie real close to that Panzer IV. Chris JT going down, but he's still going to roll in. He may be able to get a backside angle on these. Oh, he may see it. He may see the 76. No, he goes down. Good intel. Good intel by GBI. And they take out this Panzer IV on the north side. Brilliant move by GBI.
He obviously saw the information getting to the tanks in time. He was sitting there waiting, and the Panzer IV comes around the corner, thinking maybe he can get a cheeky shot, and ends up taking a cheeky mouthful.
Yeah, and we just saw a deflection. Precision inbound. Does he get this tank on the north? Misses! Just barely misses. He got some damage, but doesn't get the kill. So the 76 still in play. 276 is still in play for GBI. And you can tell they know these positioning here. A deflection earlier on this south, this second 76, but no hit, no kill. Good reaction. They heard the precision strike coming in and barely missing it. This Tiger's still in the same position. They got a repair station up, but he just does not have much of an angle. He's having to play the back and forth game to see if he can get any type of angle. Just playing by threads. You can see the shot overhead. They have an AT gun blueprint set up, but no AT gun yet. And last time that we looked at this, oh my gosh, look at the shot on the building. That's a shot on the 76. I think he's hurt. He is hurt. He's gonna have to back up. He doesn't have, I don't think he sees the Tiger. I think he's just barely out of range. Yeah, they just shot and barely missed, trying to get through the foliage.
Yeah, that 76 playing a very dangerous game. That building he's using for cover is not very wide, so he's got to be very, very precise with the movements in order to make sure that he's got coverage to prevent any shots. I mean, even now, as you can see, the Tiger is ricocheting off the top of the turret. Probably the only thing he can see. He's not going to damage him from there, but you know, you can see how thin the margin is.
Another deflection, just
it's coming right off the cupola, right off that hatch on the top.
Yeah, just absolute. I mean, just not able to get it. I mean, in some ways it's brilliant, and in some ways it's just, gosh, you're playing a really dangerous game with your 76s. But then again, you know, so far, I mean, it's not a whole lot of tank kills, but so far it looks like GBI has been getting the majority of the hits. Just the infantry's not able to push up. You know, we've seen Esprit really pushing out on this south side. We even got infantry probably within 100 meters of the northwest side of WN70. They are pushing hard. No flank for Esprit yet. They got some guys way far north, and I mean, and this the critical thing, the really important thing is that, you know, Esprit's got a decent sized presence north of the draw. Like I was talking about in the pregame chat, if they cap WN70, the draw is gone. They're setting up, ready to go for that possibility, but we're not close to that yet, I don't think. Just some sparks. There's a second Tiger coming into play for Esprit. Currently, he's near Michael P, northeast of Arty Battery. We'll take a quick look at where his positioning is at. Here's that one Tiger. And then the second Tiger is a little bit farther north, trying to get an angle. Here he is. Oh, man. I hope he doesn't get stuck. Yeah, Arcaden trying to get an angle from the northwest. Northeast of the point. I just don't know if he'll get an angle on that. GBI, good positioning.
There is a third 76 in the field now, kind of mirroring that Tiger that we just saw on the GBI side. It's over here in H6.
H6.
Kind of close to where that Panzer IV died.
Yep, there we go. Facing north right now, so he doesn't have a visual. There's no intel yet for GBI on that Tiger yet. And right now, he's raining hell on the infantry trying to come in from the north. Smart strategy to keep them from rotating around. They're starting to get a little bit of a line for GBI, but right now they're still getting pushed back here.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that, you know, when you look at the high view here, that there isn't really a whole lot of GBI presence. For your screen, it'll be the red presence in the buildings to the west of Win 70, right? They've been cleared out.
Yeah.
And that's why you see these 76s are clinging to whatever buildings they can find.
And just like that, I hate to interrupt, a 76 is now down for GBI. I'm not sure if it was that North Tiger, but down he goes. So now there's only one 76 here on the south side. They do have that second GBI tank up on the north, but that may be critical. There's a hit on the 76 as well by the Tiger. Can he back up in time? Oh, but he's backing up. It just barely. It's going to be tough to tell. Can that Tiger get a shot on it? May not be able to. They get out to repair with a repair station as well next to it.
There is an AT gun as well.
No, the shots! Oh, man.
76 is in bad shape.
Can he get it? Man, it's a real tight angle for the Tiger, but then again, I thought he couldn't get it, but he got another shot on the turret right over the top. He just gave him a haircut. Can't get it, though. So that 76 is going to live the fight another day, but there is not much cover for him at all. And backing up may not be the advantageous thing for this 76 as well, because that Tiger knows exactly where he's at.
Well, and if you look straight west of the 76, there is an AT gun built by Esprit. I don't think it has a view. They kind of built it in a weird spot.
No, and they're not manning it either. Deflection, and he moves forward to try to get a shot on this Tiger. He got a hit. And the Tiger moves away to live another day. So just like that, already raining fire down on the point. This is where it's getting a little bit critical. You can see the garrison on the point for GBI. A flare comes out. Boom! Artie just gets that spawn ray right after he gets the flare out for GBI. And now they know where the garrison, that they're raining shots. It's going to be really hard to deploy on this garrison for GBI now with the Artie shots coming on the point. Really tough spot. But Artie for GBI coming down on the north side for his, getting him on his spree. And man, I'm gonna need some water after this. Oh my gosh. You can see a little bit of a push in the open for Esprit here on the southwest side. They're really putting pressure now. No cap pressure yet, of course, but they're certainly pushing their line back. I mean, they have no control of any of these buildings on the west side of WN70. They've been pushed back a little bit. Oh, and an already shot just took out the furthest Esprit push on the west side. XL is a squad leader. On the southwest side, they got smoke. 3 squad leaders for Esprit. On the southwest side, a bombing run as well for Esprit. Did he take out the garrison on the point? They did. So no garrison on the point. What are we looking at for backup garrisons for GBI?
It's I-6. The southwest corner of I-6 is going to be the closest one, right along the cliff, basically. Not very close. If those squad leaders from Esprit that we saw running up get their OPs down and they can flood some infantry, we could start to see some cap progress. I mean, there's still 276s lingering on the GBI side, but they're running out of places to hide at this point.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, you're literally having to defend open fields at this point with little trenches. But the Artie has just been killer, been brutal. So the 76 is on the south side, and then on the north side of the point, they did lose that north 76. I'm assuming to that north Tiger. So Esprit starting to get back. They're starting to earn back, and just like that, the 76 is down on the south side. There's 176 in play for GBI, and I believe, yep, 2 Tigers in play. Now a third is rolling into the picture, all on the south side, and now we got cap pressure just for a split second.
I think it's the time for Esprit to push those tanks up. You just got 276s off the board. You know they still have 1. He's got nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
He actually just took a shot.
Yeah, and that's a hit. Hit on the 76 north.
If you're ever going to do it, now might be the time.
Yeah, and that 76 is now going to have to roll back over the cliff face. No, it goes down. literally what?
Hodge, Father Ted, and Drone.
That's
just took
it.
out.
That's all the tanks that play for GBI, right? That's all the heavies at the very least.
Yeah, there's one Steward up in G4. And they're loading up a medium at mid.
And just as soon as that 76 goes down, we have cap progress in play for Esprit. I mean, it's just teetering. Already coming down on the south side, but they got OPs down. For Esprit, they just won. Already real close to that OP.
Tanks have got to move. Spree tank, I see one of them moving up. Sergeant Fupa's tank is moving up. The other two looks like maybe Relic and Toxic Piece of Shit might be going too. But now's the time.
Yeah.
You know they have to know. As a tanker, you kind of have a count in your head of how many heavy tanks they have, how many you have. They got to know they're 3-1 at worst. It looks like they're actually 3-0.
Two tanks are now pushing a play, one on the west side and then one on the southwest side. These Tigers are rolling across the empty field. Not a whole lot of infantry support, but they're going to go ahead and push in and hope that their infantry push in behind them. OP spawn on the southwest side. Another OP spawn. We got 7 guys on the southwest side already just barely missing. And just like that, Relic and Arcaden and Toxic pushing the Tiger in, just really almost on the point, just probably within 25 meters of the point.
Yeah, now's the time where you just bully them. They have no tanks that can really contest you right now.
Yeah.
So you just drive right up on their infantry and force their infantry to try to take you out, which
there's a shot. AT gun on the south side, just got 2 hits. Down goes the Tiger. AT gun. What a move by GBI, but is it gonna be enough? Cap progress in favor of Esprit with the Tiger just rolling into the play and OP's going down. And now infantry starting to rush in for Esprit. We're looking at 4-1, and guess what? We got an OP, a recon OP, where Esprit literally almost on draw. Oh my gosh, just brutal.
There's one OP about 100 meters south and one OP about 100 meters north for GBI.
And that's a desperation bombing run for Esprit, or for GBI, I'm sorry. That's a good bombing run, but I mean, they got OPs up. It's just a matter of time before they deploy back on these OPs and they get back on point. They're still getting cap progress. And this Tiger is just still just having a free parade on this point.
Not a lot of infantry from either side actually in the circle right here.
No, it's just
but
the
you
tank.
can see that it doesn't matter really. Esprit has enough cap weight to really push him over the edge here. I think this is going to be a cap.
Now, here's the question. AT shot real close to the backside of the Tiger, but it's not going to be. That's going to be a point change for Esprit. Just like that, 4-1. And I mean, another AT shot misses on the backside of this Tiger. He's going to try to get his second shot, but down he goes. And that's a point change. 4-1. Esprit now has the point. We got one guy for Esprit on the draw. We're going to take a look, see if there's any presence at all. Just a recon squad. Butter's taking him out. I mean, I don't see any. There's one infantry guy for GBI. But right now, mainly, GBI is going to have to push across this rock face. In some ways, it's good, right? It's great cover. You can literally get up to the point and have a lot of cover. But you can see here, Esprit making the infantry kills count. With that Tiger still just driving around. Free reign on the point, on 4th point.
There is a medium that has made it to the top of the cliffs. He's looking towards the Tiger. He looks like he has a side shot, or the Tiger just turned and faced him.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, he's
but
not.
He does not know.
He doesn't know. But I don't think he sees. Does he? Yeah, he sees it. He sees it now. Oh, but he barely. He gets the infantry, but he misses. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Now I think he just had an AT shot real close to him. He's burning. He may go down. The Tiger doesn't see him yet. He may not be able to get the shot off in time.
I think this medium is too low now for the Tiger.
Yeah, just barely. Oh my gosh. He had a chance. He just hit one of the barricades. Took out some infantry, but couldn't get a shot on the Tiger. And now the Tiger is rolling towards him. And you can see here, pretty significant infantry presence now for Esprit. GBI spread out across the rock face, but it just may not be enough. Oh, cap progress in favor of GBI now. Oh, they're getting back cap progress with that Tiger rolling north now. And it just lasted for a moment. GBI is not going to be able to maintain that pressure. Not, you know, and I said there was a presence, but there really isn't a whole lot of presence in the circle. And Esprit's got to be really careful about this with guys on the rock face. They're winning the infantry battles right now, but I mean they're a couple of deaths away from. And just as I say that contested point, I mean they're literally teetering. May not be enough pressure though by GBI. I mean, what if you're GBI in this case, Wix? I mean, what do you do? I mean, what's the play? You're on this rock face and literally just trying to get any breathing room.
I mean, you got to get those tanks down, because what could happen if ESPT gets set up, if they get a tank set up, they're going to get a tank that's going to watch this whole beach, and it's just going to be able to do whatever it wants on the whatever they want on the beach, and there's no way GBI is going to get any tanks up. So you got to get the tanks down first, I think, because I don't think you're going to cap this point like this with 2 Tigers lingering out there. And then, I mean, you gotta hope that you can cap win 70 before long, because I can tell you, the longer it goes, the harder it's gonna be to capture or to hold. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The draw. It's a fucking open set of beach is the hard point.
Yeah.
And
you can set up. It's the high ground as well, man. Like you get that
high ground's right there. Like you got to capture this back fast, or you're not gonna have a chance, because the draw will not last long.
GBI is trying their damnedest. They are literally contesting the point right now. But down goes B for the squad leader. I mean, they're literally on this rock face, just trying any way, shape, or form to get any type of cap pressure in. But as we speak, there is a garrison already set up for Esprit on the northwest side of the draw, right on the road. They even have OPs up there as well. I mean, no infantry making a big push yet, but their Tigers are pushing up right to the line. And I mean, let me tell you, man, I mean, Esprit, there's a garrison right there for GBI, but there's literally Esprit infantry, and he spotted the garrison at the very least, getting 1 kill. Can't get the 2nd kill. They know where this garrison is at. Now for GBI, question is, can they get it? Oh my gosh, they're getting the infantry kills. They're winning these infantry fights, my man. Just winning them. And Clownface and GBI. AT shot barely missing Clownface. Grenades landing in. JJ. Mo takes him out. Saving the garrison. And so they're gonna live to fight another day on that garrison. But you can see here that Tiger. There's an assault guy, probably with a satchel. Real close. And that Tiger's gonna have to roll back. That's the tough part for these Tigers, right? Not able to provide a whole lot of support on 5th point, really, but at the same token, they can easily provide support on 4th. I mean, with that Tiger on the north side, just like you said, it's going to be extremely difficult for GBI to make any type of push at all.
We have a 76 pulling out of the landing craft at mid HQ for GBI, and that Tiger that we saw go down to an AT gun, that crew has a fresh Tiger that is pulling up to win 70 right now, so it's up to 3-1, 3 Tigers, 3 76s in the armor game right now. We'll see what GBI can do with this 76 if they can start to make a dent.
It is just brutal. I mean, I do not envy this position for GBI, especially for their tanks, because, I mean, literally, like, you're going to have to push out of the open beach. You're going to get spotted real easily. These tanks are going to be waiting for you, my man. I mean, I hate to say this. This is the map they picked. You know, you believe that in your truck routes and everything, but at the end of the day, if you get backed up just like you're at right now, this is the eventuality of what was going to happen. This was inevitable if you lose 2nd point, and now they're backed up in a corner. They're literally, GBI is going to need a miracle to get back in this. That Tiger is now pushed up onto the south side of the point. Well, actually, really just on the southeast side. I don't know. Wix, will they have visibility on the beach for these Tigers? Will they be able to see these tanks rolling out of the center HQ?
They'll have visibility for sure. I'm not sure if that Tiger right there is going to have depression to be able to shoot something coming out of the landing craft. It looks like maybe, because they were pretty secure there, although now they're moving around. So all you really need to do is find a spot where the ground tilts down just a little bit. And there's a lot of them where you can find. They might have just found a little dip right there. You just get it to settle down a little bit, nose down tiny bit, and then you can shoot anywhere you want on the beach.
Well, they're literally shooting into the landing craft right now, getting the infantry out. I mean, that's just absolutely brutal. Is that, I'm assuming that 76 is still just in the land. It's still in the, or is that a fresh one?
He started to peek out and then he backed up.
It's a tough position. It's a tough position to be in, especially since we just saw that Tiger on the south side had a shot on the landing craft literally inside. They can get shots. Now, we do got a Tiger here on the southwest side covering the flank for Esprit, but there is just no infantry push at all for GBI in the west flank. I mean, literally, if you want to get any type of west flank at all, Airhead is the only answer, and they got to know Esprit's got to have a couple of guys on the backside looking for any type of airhead, making sure that there is no push at all. There is a hit on the Tiger. Down goes the Tiger! Unbelievable shot! That's 76!
What you see there, too, the tank commander standing on the deck of the landing craft, saw the Tiger, pinged it, marked it, and the crew just pulled out and shot it.
Unbelievable.
That Tiger that died, and this is something that you got to start to think about with these two Tigers that are up here that have been up here for a while. That was the brand new Tiger that just died.
Wow.
He drove up to the point, peeked the cliff, got his ass cheeks clapped, and now they're going back and asking for another one. I mean, we've seen Arcadian's tank driving around a lot. They've got to be low on ammo if they're still alive.
Yeah.
This other tank's been sitting back a little bit, but that starts to be a consideration when you're so far away from your HQ. You need your tanks with ammo to survive long enough, and just having two Tigers is not going to be mean as much if they have no ammo in them.
Yeah, and you're starting to see GBI has gotten a little bit of a presence here now on the north side. It's not an easy push on the WN70, but it is certainly an improvement on position for GBI at this point. I mean, they have taken out the garrison for Esprit that was on that north side, and they have pushed them back a little bit. I mean, they are not out of this fight yet. There is still 42 minutes left in this match, and they have got somewhat of a presence here on this north side. I mean, it's just a tough push, It's a tough push across that north side. I mean, what do you think of GBI's chances at this point with that infantry push in the north?
I mean, I'm taking a look at their map, and I know you guys can't see it, but there's that whole cliff face just east of Win 70. And if you fly over that area in the blue zone, you will see there is no GBI presence right on the front door.
Just
There's nothing there. They are all up in the north by draw. They're basically pushed back to the area immediately surrounding draw. There's a squad in the far south.
Yeah,
There's
and they just got wiped.
70.
They just got wiped. And that OP's got to be gone.
Yeah, there it goes. So they don't have any map control, which is kind of what you'd expect on this map when you get pushed back to your last point. But it's, like I said, man, the longer time goes by, the harder it's going to be to keep the draw, as Esprit's just going to sit on that high ground and squeeze you and squeeze you and squeeze you.
Yep. Now, we did see a bombing run earlier, but it did not give them any breathing room at all for Esprit. So they're not going to be able to capitalize on that bomb run to make any type of push. Esprit may not be looking at this as we got to go 5-0. They may just be like, we're in a good position here. We have map control for the most part, except for maybe the north side. Esprit losing an OP here on the north side. Just right there, Terry and Battletoast trying to push on Nothing Too Fancy, and Jonas. He's got an AT rocket. He's going to load it up and just launch a shell. Can he get it? Got it in the bunker, but doesn't get pistol beat. And that's a frag right there. They're going to then Battletoast as the last survivor of that exchange right there. But at some point in time, you're going to lose. I mean, you could see it. Yeah, just like that. We have a southern approach on the beach for Esprit. They may not know this is coming. You know, they lost control on that south side. There is no infantry push at all on the east side of WN70. And now they got a couple of guys pushing. It may not be enough, but certainly they're going to apply pressure here on the south side. Not looking good for GBI at all. And a medium is rolling out for GBI out of the boats. He's going to rotate south with the infantry there as well, but I don't know if he spots the infantry. He maybe just be aiming at the rock face. Nope, he sees him. Kiyoshi, rounds landing around him. That 76 still in the boat as well. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And in some ways it's brilliant, and in some ways it's just heartbreak.
Well, you have to have tanks in order to take back points.
Yeah.
And so there's no point in just driving your assets out there and letting them get destroyed if they're not safe. So yeah, keep it in the boat. You know, you're not in a desperate state. You're not losing the point. And honestly, right now, they might not know this, but there was the Tiger we saw die on the cliff. Arcadian's Tiger that had been driving around on Win 70 forever died at some point. There's only one Tiger in the area right now, and it's this Hodge, Father Ted, and Drone Tiger that has been sitting way back doing, like, honestly, I don't even know what, but they've been sitting way back. They're the only one alive, and now you have two 76s for GBI because there is one that has a crew now in the southern landing craft as well.
Wow.
So tank advantage may have swung a little bit. So GBI's stacking the tanks up. They're getting some kills. They're the infantry are getting seems like they're getting some tank kills, and hey, you know, maybe they can start to make a move here pretty soon.
Well, they've just called it out. So in the chat, Kanoshi just said, lost all tanks, build AT guns. That's what they've resorted to at this point. It's a smart strategy at this point to try to get some AT presence, especially since now, I just saw it, a medium and a 76, both rolling out on the south side. The 76 has come out of his hidey hole and it's going to roll out. They're going to use this momentum to try to get any type of pressure. The real question is, are they going to be able to address it with the AT guns? You can see here, one setting it up right here. They're going to try to get an AT gun set up on the, I mean, I guess, maybe. Down goes one of them, though. And the Tiger backing up. He's just going to wait for him to come across this rock face. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one, right? I mean, you don't have the advantage necessarily if you're this Tiger up on this, on top. Because they're aiming. They know that Tiger is up here somewhere. The real question is, where does that Tiger pop up, right?
Yeah, but here's the benefit that this Tiger has. He has information. I'm sure there's enough infantry in this area to tell him where the 76 is, whereas there's nobody from GBI to tell them even that there's a Tiger here, much less where it is and what it's doing. We could start to see an engagement. It looks like this Tiger is setting up for a shot on the 76, and the 76 doesn't really have anywhere to go, so hopefully he gets the first shot off.
He's in the open now. He is aiming right at this tank right here. I mean, no, I say that. No, he's rotated toward the point. The Tiger moving up. This is going to be critical right here.
Neither of them are looking at each other.
No, I don't know if they know.
The Tiger probably has line of sight. The Tiger is rotating now.
Yeah, he's
I think
rotating.
that 76 is going to die unless he's able to get to cover or somebody misses a shot here.
Now
the Tiger stops and
he got the Greyhound. Yeah.
So
there's an AT shot on the medium.
There's a Tiger here, but why is he not looking at it?
It's brutal. I mean, you can see
the
they're rotating. Oh, deflection on the medium. A hit on the 76. There's no ways to go. He's gonna get out of repair, and he misses this shot. He's gonna wait for the clear. Down goes the 76. You know, at this point, honestly, you know, if I was GBI in that circumstance with that breathing room, push up to the rock face. Don't let them get the shot with you out there in the middle of the open with dead man zone. There was nowhere to go. There was nowhere to go for the 76, or even for that medium for that matter. The reason the medium's still up right now is because he moved up. But that Tiger just got deflection on it. He gets a hit on the medium. Oh, this medium's toast. He's going to try to back up, but it only works in favor of the deflection. And down goes the medium, so the Tiger just took out two tanks here on the south side. That's a brutal blow by for GBI right there.
It's kind of unfortunate how it played out too, because I'm guessing what happened was this tiger on the south side, Drone Hodge and Father Ted, had sat back for a long time. It hadn't really peeked over the cliff. It hadn't really been involved in the kind of front line. I'm sure they were doing something back there, but they weren't involved in the front line. So GBI might have lost track that it was even there. And so right when they push out their tanks and they say, hey, you know, we just killed a couple tanks, like, let's start to push out. This tank comes out of seemingly nowhere to them. Although he just took a hit from the middle 76. I don't know if he's going to get a second.
Now, there is a Tiger mid coming up. He's going to get a shot on this landing craft. And that 76 is hurt. That 76 is hurt. He doesn't, the Tiger does not have a shot on him right now. It was real close. Just saw a big spawn wave off the garrison on the bottom of the clip face for GBI. They're pushing out of the middle. But they're just getting hammered by infantry. There's a garrison not that far off on top of the cliff face, just almost right on the edge of the cliff face for Esprit. Basically parallel to the garrison for GBI. They're going to get a flare up for Esprit. And this Tiger maybe just be holding space. I'm not sure oh, it's really close. He may be able to get a shot. I mean, at this point, they got to know they're coming out of the landing craft, right? They got to have at least enough intelligence to know that, like, the landing craft, he got a hit. He just got a hit inside the landing craft. And I'm trying to get a visual. He's backed up as far as he can be. I mean, talk about just literally being pushed back to with your backs against the wall. The Tiger literally having to go into the landing craft just to repair. And that Tiger, I mean, there's no place to go for that 76 at all. He's going to have to kill that Tiger to get out, and the Tiger's got the advantage at this point.
Yeah, I had said that there was a brief moment where GBI might have had armor advantage, and you could see how fleeting of a moment it was.
Yeah.
Because it's already gone.
It's a little unfortunate, you know, just like you were talking about, it's a little unfortunate how it happened, because they had the momentum, they had the numbers, they'd taken out 2 Tigers, there was only 1 Tiger left, and that was the moment that they pushed, but they didn't push fast enough, and they decided to stay in the open, and they paid the price for it. The 1 Tiger that was left took out 2 tanks, and I mean, at this point, those tanks are priceless. They are literally priceless, because you can't, now you literally can't get the tanks out of the spawns even. That's how brutal it is. Now, we do have an engineer for GBI with a satchel. Oh my gosh, they don't see it either. It's gonna get a satchel on the Tiger. That may just be what they need. Oh my gosh, GBI pulling out little ninja moves left. But on top of it, but the unfortunate part, we have a contested point on 5th just for a split second. Just saw it flicker.
Something interesting that happened too, it's been mentioned in chat here, and I was flying around by the Allied Arty guns and Land Cruising, whose squad I'm in, was not on them. He's claiming he was killed off of Arty, specifically by Clownface from ESPT.
Yeah.
And I was worried because he had to run all the way from the boat back onto the Arty gun, and none of the players seeing him run across the beach are going to know he's the Arty guy. But he did make it back onto the Arty gun. So if I saw when I joined the server, the HLLU was running. So what should have happened when Land Cruising died, 10 people on ESPT should have died instantly. I'm not sure if that happened. There's no real way for us to know without seeing the logs.
That'll be really interesting to see. The bomber run just came in. I believe it just took out the garrison that was for GBI due east of the point, or actually northeast of the point. No longer there. The Tiger is gone. But what's really interesting, I didn't see guys in the Tiger. So it looked almost like there was an empty Tiger. I'm not sure what happened. But now this 76 has a little bit of breathing room now to work with. I mean, you literally
had... There's still a Tiger in the south. He's backed up a little bit, doesn't have eyes, but he is still there. That they have to be careful. But
yes,
now might be the time to try to get it off that damn beach.
I know. You have to time it. You got to get the intel right. I mean, this is interesting because I've never watched a comp match on this map before, but I'm starting to see the dilemmas. The dilemmas are like, if you get pushed back this far, your chances of getting off the beach with these tanks are slim to none. Now, that Tiger kill helps a ton. There's only one Tiger in play currently. Tiger way far away, pushing out from South HQ. He's right now in C8. I mean, he's literally 5 grid squares away still from getting to the front, but you would think this is the time to move, right? Just like you were talking about, you would think that this is the time to try to get some tanks pushed out. That Tiger has the south flank, but what else are you going to do? You got to have armor support in order to push on the 4th. Otherwise, it's just going to be a... You're eventually going to get cap 5-0. If you don't make a push, you're eventually going to get cap 5-0.
Yeah, there's another 76 now. They tried the landing craft at top HQ now for the second 76. So.
Got it. Not a bad strategy either at this point. No, you know, try to get it somewhere out. Oh, it's right.
Well, and one of the benefits that you have, one of the few benefits you have when you're pushed back like this is your heavy tanks are immediately in the fight. Whereas every time a spree loses a Tiger, they got, you know, what, 6-7 minutes to bring it back up here?
Yeah, long time.
And some of them aren't lasting that long, so...
And we got some contact here, GBI fighting it out on the north side. Got some OPs on the blue line for... Oh, and grenade just blowing them to pieces. You know, here's another hard part for Esprit. You know, because of fighting over this 5th point for so long, the arty support isn't going to be as effective. I don't know what the effective range is. I know 1,600 meters is as far as they can go, but I don't know if they can hit on... They definitely can't hit on the draw. That's for sure. The question is, where can they hit? They may be launching. I don't see it, but I'm seeing a lot of smoke here on the rock face. Really tough. You know, at the very least, I think GBI is going to have a little bit of an arty advantage. Although, yeah, I'm curious about that arty kill. Curious if they had 10 people die immediately.
I flew back. I'm looking at Adam, the Esprit arty player. He's just sitting on the gun. He's not shooting.
There you go.
He's not doing anything.
Doesn't have the range.
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. He's not allowed to go help the team in any other way. When it gets to this point, you know, he can go, you know, read a book. He can go, you know, make himself suffer, grab a beer, whatever he needs to do. I mean,
what you know,
there's nothing he can do in game.
Yeah,
I mean, he can't.
Yeah, he doesn't have the shot, and you know, this is the brutal part. I'm not seeing any infantry for GBI South. They are getting boxed in here. Esprit
They're in the boat.
They're in the boat.
The only place you see them, they're on the landing craft. They have a few MGs.
3 MGs. They got 3 MGs on this south boat right here. Mo,
that's
Fergie,
it, because
and Corsi.
Yeah, because if you've ever played Omaha U.S. offensive, 2 MGs can just hold down the entire side of the beach. So there's a couple of spree MGs on the cliff just waiting for them to walk out and shoot them.
I mean, and from a defensive standpoint, that makes absolute sense, right? But my gosh, like now 76 just pushed out of the mid boat with the tank commander running behind him. That's really interesting. He's just gonna be nope. He just got in. He just got in. I was wondering if he was just gonna be the repair guy, I guess, but.
Yeah, that Tiger that was in the south looks like it went down.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're just gonna constantly repair, I guess. I don't know. Either that, or they're doing a Chinese fire drill. I mean, I don't know. But he's pushed out now.
Yeah, I think what it was is that Pan's the tank commander. He was outside of the tank because he gets spotting. But then when they're all 3 in the tank, he likes to drive. So.
And he's getting shot at. Did he get the tank?
AT gun.
AT gun, okay. But that was some big shots on the 76. He's going to have to rep.
Well, he's got the map native repair station right there, so he doesn't actually have to get out to repair. It's just right there for him.
And the 76 now for GBI just took out the Lux. He's moving north. He's off the beach now. That's a critical step for GBI at this point. Unfortunately, not a lot of time left. You got 25 minutes left to cap 2 points of your GBI. That's a hit on the 76, though. Not sure where the hit. It's a tank hit for sure, but I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, you can see how far. He's literally on WN70, and he's going to back up. Way out there. 800 meters. 800 meters. Is that right? Yeah, 800 meters shot right there. And they're going to get out and repair. Good angle. Tank off the beach, thank gosh, for GBI, but still not out of the woods yet.
One of the things I see that we didn't see early on after they lost Win 70 was, you can't see my screen, but there is a really nice front line right on the blue-red border for GBI where they've kind of stabilized that front. That's why we've seen, even though we said earlier on, I said specifically, you know, you're not going to hold on to the draw very long, but they're doing it. They have it set up. They have a good defense around it, and I think ESPT's having some trouble kind of cracking that right now.
Yeah.
That being said, GBI is nowhere near being in any position to threaten Win 70.
Yeah.
So they've got part of it. That's good. But you got to kind of work some attack pressure in there somehow, some way.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and they're making me eat my words. You know, I said, man, if it gets to 4-1, it's basically a 5-0 on the U.S. side. Or, sorry, that would be for the Germans. But they're making me eat my words. It has been a dogfight over 5th point / 4th point. And GBI is still fighting. They're just, unfortunately, kind of collapsed in on this rock face and just have not gotten the momentum. You know, it's kind of like what you were talking about earlier when they lost WN70. When they lost WN70, the time to get that point back was immediate. Like, they needed immediate cap pressure back on, and they let Esprit solidify. And unfortunately, they just can't get much room out of it. They marked a tank. They marked a tank up. I think that's a bad ping. Not a good tank ping. Now the Tiger is still up in play. I don't know if he has an angle on this 76 still. That 76 still up in play.
No, it went down.
Down. It went down. The one tank that they have outside of the beach is down. And man, ESPT just putting on a, I mean, I'd say they're putting on a clinic. They've had moments where they've lost tanks, but given the fact that, you know, it's a lot more costly for Esprit, just like you mentioned, to get tanks up to the front line, you know, losing tanks are brutal, but at the same time, they've gotten these tank kills. They have kept GBI on their heels, not let them push or get any type of cap pressure at all. 76. This is, I have to say this is a little bit sketch. The only reason I say this is because they have the 76 right behind the arty gun. If you shoot at this tank, you'll take out the arty guy, and it costs them 10 people. I mean,
you might, yeah.
I can't tell if it's genius or just, I don't know, cheeky at the very least. I mean,
I'll tell you what, I mean,
strategy.
If it happens that a shot hit onto the 76 kills land cruising, it will be likely that the organizers and ultimately the team reps who will vote on rule violations will probably not look kindly on that, because I think there's no other reason for this 76 to be sitting specifically here.
Cover. There's
except
no
that
cover
they're
at
hoping
all.
that a shot maybe kills him. Because gamification of the rules is against the rules.
Yeah.
Right?
This is kind of gaming
using the
it.
rules to gain an unfair advantage, and I experienced that in one of my seasonal matches, where I found myself in a tank in the enemy arty, and the guy got off arty and started running into my tank's machine gun. So
now take a look at this. GBI is getting a bit of a push here on the south side. There is no one on for Esprit. And they're pushing across the rock face. Guys going down, but Beaver is still alive. Contesting the point for GBI, and there's guys pushing across the open field. Oh my goodness. Can they get this? Oh, and there's an OP spawn for GBI. Oh my goodness. Cap progress in favor of GBI on this 4th point. I mean, just like that. It's not looking good. 20 minutes is a straight, but it doesn't get many. There's a spawn wave from the south side, but still continue cap pressure. Airhead coming in. It's an Esprit Airhead. No, GBI Airhead. I'm sorry. It's a GBI Airhead. And it's a bombing run Airhead combo. Couple guys survived. Can they find the Airhead? Is the Airhead still up? There's a garrison for Esprit here. Halfway, almost halfway cap for GBI. There's still a garrison up for Esprit. Can they get enough guys on it? Squib going for it. Oh, big spawn wave. Oh my gosh. Just 5 seconds earlier. And maybe it gets it, but the Tiger coming in just in the nick of time. But can they get onto the point in time? Bombing run for Esprit through the point.
Oh,
it's tough.
Swinging back and forth.
And Esprit getting the cap progress back. They may have just saved it, but there is an OP spawn on the south side. Oh, good rocket shot. US Ranger getting back in on the point. He's in the building, holding down the guys from the south OP. GBI making it interesting here. Can he get him, US Ranger? And a little bit of a tickle against Magic. He can out gets Battletoads. Can he get Magic? Oh, it's a trade.
Still a lot of GBI OPs up on the slope east of the point, so they haven't given up yet.
And there's a 76 that is pushed up onto the beach. It gave him the time. He's got a shot, easy shots on the Tiger. Can he get it?
He's not looking. Oh, he's looking at the other one. Okay.
He got a hit on the Tiger.
You can see both Tigers from here.
Oh, can you? I don't want to miss this Tiger kill. He's aiming at him, but he doesn't have the angle.
He's got him. He's got to have him. There he
got the Tiger. Oh my gosh.
He might die right here to the other Tiger.
Deflected.
Can he get the shot on it? Can he get the return shot in time? He doesn't know where he is.
Missed. Oh, he'll know now. Now that he's hit, but it's too late.
He might be able to get down the hill.
Can he get down in time? He's got the angle. Wow. He got down in time. Lives to find another day. GBI still mounting pressure. No cap pressure, but they got a lot of guys here on the east and northeast side. Tiger pushing up. He's not letting this 76 get away. GBI. They are not giving eye.
Had two people out repairing. They both were killed by Keonashi.
Oh no.
So there's one person left in the tank who got out.
He just got out. Got the kill. Aviator still alive, but down he goes. It's an empty 76 now. And they'll know
Tigers
too.
Are gonna come finish him off. Yeah, I'm sure they can count to 3.
Yep, they just put it in the chat. Great intel. Just said 76 empty on G. The Tiger doesn't see him yet. And they're holding off the infantry pushing forward, but the Tiger, I don't know if he's got an angle on it. That 76, yeah, can't get the shot yet.
You know he's just racing the AT right there to try to get the kill.
Oh, you absolutely. It's my kill. I got the shot. That's a second shot on the 76. He's done. Ah, Freezing Task takes it from him. Oh man. You know there's gonna be. Oh, you can hear them. They're in proc chat. I wish I could hear what they were saying. Oh, there we go. Just one guy. Just one guy and a sniper rushing back in. Mr. Dude Man Bagel. It's back in favor, so it's just teetering. You can see the garrison for Esprit, but there's infantry right next to it.
Even though we saw that push get repelled, though, like what we said before, there was no GBI presence on the front door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry OPs for GBI on the front door now. They're making their push.
Yeah,
they're doing what they can. They haven't given up yet.
Now they got a garrison on the point for Esprit, right? They got a garrison also in H6 right near the barbed wire. Like on the northern push as well. If you look at your map real quick, Wix, I think it's right parallel to where one of the GBI garrisons is at as well. Pretty darn close. That garrison's a little bit further north than what Esprit's at. Like
the
literally,
GBI garrison is in the I column, right on the 5-6 line.
And we got a Stewart, a crazy-ass Stewart that is pushed out. His gun up on top. He's pushing out. I love this play by GBI. Get some armor in play. They know at least that the Tiger is on the south side of the point, so the Stewart is pushed north. He's going to push around. He's going to try to get whatever spawns. Cat progress back in favor of GBI. There's a Tiger still in play on the point, but he is surrounded. Garrison is gone. AT shot from the rear of the Tiger.
He's got to turn. Why isn't he turning?
Another. He's going for the Stewart. He's aiming for the Stewart, but he just got hit in the rear. He's aiming for this Stewart. This Stewart may... Oh, but the Stewart's been hit by an AT guy. He may go down here.
This Tiger's got to be careful. He's one shot and his ass is to the...
Right to the infantry.
GBI front line.
Oh, and the Stewart misses, but he doesn't have the deflection. He's getting a little stuck. Oh, my gosh. The Stewart, can he get away? He misses the shot.
He might be able to get around and get behind the Tiger.
Oh, he's rotating the tank now. He knows where the Stewart is coming. AT shot takes out the Stewart. But we still got cat progress in favor of GBI. We got guys on the point. No Garrison for Esprit. Oh, no, it's back up, but it's high. Down goes the Tiger. Oh my goodness.
Pushed up onto the top of the cliff,
76 just came in the nick of time. He just got hit in the rear. But at least he got the Tiger. Even if that may just be enough. We'll see. The Garrison is back up for Esprit, and they are literally tooth and nail fighting on this south side. Point going back and forth, 13 minutes left. GBI fighting for their lives in the tournament. I mean, just... Oh, and the 76ers have to go down. He may be stuck here on the rocks. I don't know. He is rolling. At the very least, trying to get repaired. Maybe. Unfortunate. Kind of the challenges of this rock face, right?
Yeah. Not always easy to get up and down it. For sure, there's some places where you can go down rapidly, and sometimes you get caught on a leaf, and you don't really know why.
Yeah. You get these choke points and stuff. Esprit getting back all the cap momentum. But, man... And they got the... You can see here where the Garrison is back up for Esprit. Already shots raining and around it, but... Truth be told, I mean, they are not out of this fight yet. GBI just right on that rock face. Making good pressure. And the problem is they put this Garrison real close to the infantry. Oh, there's a satchel going down for Prost. They put this Garrison real close to where the infantry can push, and they keep putting it up. I don't get it. I don't get that Garrison placement. You know, it's already gone down once. They put it back in the same spot, and a satchel has gone down on the bunker. And they may be able to use this to push in. But he's running up. Can he get the satchel on before he dies? Nope, he goes down.
There's already one satchel there. I don't know if it's close enough to get the Garrison.
I don't think it is.
In about 3 seconds.
Already just 10 down on the Garrison. Couldn't get the Garrison. Doesn't get any kills. The already stealing it a little bit. But now the already knows where the Garrison is at. He's just going to rain down, keep them from spawning on that Garrison. And the real question is, can GBI capitalize? Oh, there's a precision, but that tank is moving. Misses. Doesn't it damages it a little bit, but 76 still up.
76 has barely moved because he can't move, and they still...
Yeah, he's just getting stuck on this rock base. AT.
Precision strike is very fickle.
Yeah, Free the Chicken's going to try to get an AT shot. He's got the bottom of the tank exposed to him as his tank is trying to move up. Can he get it? It's right next to him. Oh, he's going to wait for the rear shot. AT shot on the rear. Oh, my gosh. And now in a tough spot.
He waited for the rear shot that didn't even shoot the engine.
No. No, it did not.
Might as well have just shot the side.
Yeah, now he's just having to back up completely. So no armored support right now. Esprit does have a Tiger up on the southwest side.
GBI 76 just made it up on the very south map edge, up onto the top of the cliff.
Oh, that's going to be huge. Huge.
Surrounded
But the problem is
by
he's got a
infantry.
Tiger. He's got a Tiger facing him. I don't know if he sees him yet, but he's aiming right at him. Nope,
He's
he
got to be
can't.
called
He
out. I
sees
think
him.
because of the depression of the ground, the Tiger doesn't have a shot yet.
It's really close. He's got a barricade like right in front of him. Oh, the 76 is turning, but he doesn't see the Tiger. And we got, funny enough, an Esprit Puma, a solo Puma, now is pulled up on the south side of the point. And the 76 is moving now. The Tiger may have the angle. He definitely has the angle on this thing. He gets a good hit on the 76. That 76 not looking in good shape. He may have the second shot on him. Down goes the 76. 9 minutes left for GBI, and that was a brutal blow. A medium was pulling up, but just right where the 76 has already gone down, a Puma driving straight to the rocks.
That's part of the difficulty here, is that once you get to the top of the cliff, you might not have any idea what's waiting for you. For GBI,
yeah,
the information is not there the same way. Even as it would be on any other map.
Yeah.
Just because you have to go up this cliff and then you get to the top of the cliff and how far can you see and everything. It's really tough.
Oh my gosh, cap progress back in favor of GBI. It was one guy. This point is still teetering on cap. Like, it is. In fact, they got cap pressure still, but Matt already gets the one guy on the point. What a shot! And Adam literally just saved the cap progress on the point.
Was the player Magic that
Yeah,
died?
Magic, yeah.
That was a team kill.
No! A team kill. Oh my goodness.
It looks like it from the chat. Land Cruisin said Magic Artie, and then they were laughing about it, so I think it was a team kill.
Well, at least they're laughing about it, I guess. You know, no hard feelings about it. They got a satchel, but it didn't take anyone out, really. Not out of this yet, but 8 minutes left to go. 4 minutes, basically. I think it basically, like, yeah, 4 minutes to basically get any type of cap pressure at all. It's going to be really tough for GBI, but they have not quit yet. There's another, the 76, I believe, that's the 76 from earlier, yeah. He's rotated around to the south side now. Guess he just couldn't get up on the rock face or get a good angle from the north. He's going to push south.
GBI did try an airhead very far southwest of the sector, and it was immediately destroyed. So
yeah.
No more airheads for GBI.
That's brutal. You know, and they used that bomb and run airhead combo. It just did not work for them. You can see the garrison here. They do got a backup garrison now. Esprit is solidified. I think they're going to hunker down at this point. You know, they got some guys still putting a little bit of pressure on the draw, but at this point in time, the goal is to win, and the goal is to hold fourth point. And they're doing just that, but let me tell you, there's been some times where it's teetering. In fact, GBI getting more than half pressure. If you're joining right now, they had half pressure, half cap weight on fourth point, just couldn't capitalize on it. They couldn't get the garrison, and Esprit was able to get enough guys to respond in time. In addition, a Tiger rolled up for Esprit. Just in the nick of time, really. He literally driving in from HQ to get there in time. I mean, what are you gonna do at this point? I mean,
well, I mean, at some point they might just need to pull everybody off of a round draw and go for like a front door win 70. See if you can push. It looks like they have one squad leader, AKM4, kind of in the back, maybe setting up for a potential back cap situation, because you don't only have to capture win 70. You got to capture artillery battery. It's going to be a tall order, but at some point, I think GBI is the type of team that's going to go for it.
Yeah,
I honestly think even at this point, I don't think this game is ending 4-1. I think GBI is going to have the confidence and have the you know, just kind of the, I don't know, courage, a way to put it, but to go for the
Artie,
even if it means losing the draw. I think that's what we're going to see in the next couple of minutes.
And we just saw a tank shot on a tank in the north. I thought I saw maybe in the AT gun that just got taken out. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, if I'm GBI, screw 5-0. Screw 4-1. go for the win. You know, and it made me solidifying there is 2 Tigers now on the south side and a Puma. This Puma's been a really great idea because he's just been able to get the infantry that are coming up on the bunker and on the rock face. He's just looking for guys to just, he's got a second guy in there now to help him spot, but no, there is little cap pressure now. Little, I mean, not any guys now up on the rock face due east of the point. The 76 rolling back down. Barely gets St. Pepsi. And just absolutely brutal. There's been some things in this match that are highly unusual. The Artie guy going down, a 76 stationed up behind the Artie. But really the story has become Esprit has just had incredible map control. They've pushed their line. They've won the infantry battles. And overall, I say overall, it's not been one-sided on the tank engagements, but certainly once they pushed them back, it's just too difficult for GBI to get it. 4 minutes left in the match. I mean,
it's a lot to overcome, and I think they did a good job, taking some shots and playing smart and trying to, make it happen. But I mean, Obi-Wan wasn't wrong about the high ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 shots from the front on this Tiger. Beautiful shots. He redeploys to get the second shots. I love it. Love it. Let's get the shots again. He just a reload. Love it. GBI getting back on the rock face here. No guys on the point for Esprit. You would think they would hunker down a little bit, but I think they're resorting to the armor on the point. But let me tell you this, there is one squad leader here for GBI on the south side. He's bandaging. I don't know if he's going to try to get an OP. It'd be real gutsy if he does. Kiwi, the MG, is running up right behind him. He's the only, right now, Donkas is their only hope, really, in terms of any type of pressure. And they don't even know.
I mean, it's over now, right? Like,
yeah, it's 100% over. Yeah, 100% over. GBI
has full scented. He's down onto the beach.
Is he down on the beach? Yeah, he's got a second crewman. Now there he goes. He's just gonna yeet it onto the beach. And they're already calling it. It's the GGs in the chat. GBI, freaking fighters. I think it's a big credit to them, honestly. A big credit to them that they were able to hold on to the draw for as long as they did. And really not only hold on to it, but actually put some pressure on Win 70. I mean, they never gave up. I'm sure that they were down after losing the midpoint and down even more after losing Win 70. But look, they stuck it out and they never gave up. And I think we got a good game out of it. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Esprit's a tough team to beat. This is a map that is going to be tough if you don't cap mid, especially tough if you lose your second point as the allies, but they held on. I mean, not getting 5-0'd is in some ways, something you can hang your hat on a little bit.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
what they wanted for sure, but hey, you got to take something away.
And the one thing, when we were talking to Bear in the pre-match interview, these are guys who, the end all be all for GBI is not whether or not they win these matches or not. They're still going to remain strong. They're still going to remain together. These are guys, as he quoted, they're brothers. They're a community, and they're still going to hang on. I think some teams would look at this and they just be absolutely demoralized. I don't think GBI is going to be like this at all. This is a fun group of guys, and they're going to be back, man. And they may be tougher and stronger than ever, and they may give. I mean, in some ways, you get a couple things working in your favor, and GBI capped that 4th point back, and they're right back in it to try to get back 3rd point. I mean, not that far away. They were past half cap, so. But that's gonna do it. 30 seconds left, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and call it. But just
we talked a lot about GBI. I want to make sure give credit as well to ESPT.
Yeah.
They came out today. They were favored to win. The pressure was kind of on them because, really you could say they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be on the brink of elimination so early. But hey, it's what it happens sometimes, and they went out here today and got the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they show dominance, right? I think they consistently push. What we saw is that even at times GBI was able to take positions and push back a little bit, but at the end of the day, they still able to push through on their line. From the moment that they capped third point, they pushed them back and back and back until finally they were with the wall on their back. And fourth point, WN70 is not easy to take. It's open fields, not easy to push. But what we saw was that they finally capitalized on the armor advantage, right? They finally capitalized on taking out the tanks. Took them a little bit, for sure, but they finally just yeeted one Tiger onto the point, and that was enough, man. Already bombing run, that was it, man. That was all that she wrote. So,
hey, I don't know if you saw, an offer has been extended. If we want to bring in Bear for a post game,
absolutely, I would absolutely be down for that. Bring him in here. I would love to talk to him. So, yeah, feel free to bring him in here because I think it would be real good to get his take on it. Unfortunately, they have been eliminated from the tournament, and Esprit will move on. Let's go ahead. In the meantime, what I'm going to go ahead and show you is I'm going to show you the bracket as it stands right now. So that was the first match of the weekend. WTH and TL are still up to fight. They are not in danger of being eliminated, but they will be going against each other tomorrow. I believe is that the matchup that you're streaming tomorrow, Wix? Is the WTH TL matchup?
No, I'm playing in that match.
Oh, that's right. I'm dumb. Yeah, absolutely. So
I've got Syndicate Falk at 8 a.m. Eastern,
that's right.
7 Central.
Absolutely. So that's going to be the bracket for A. And then for the loser bracket, obviously Falk and Syndicate are fighting, and then IR and Cerberus. Both those matchups are going to happen tomorrow. And then for Group B winner bracket, DC is going to face off against Greyhounds. Both of those guys are just fighting for seeding at this point. And then in the loser bracket, obviously Esprit is going to move on. They will face the winners of Refuge versus Circle. Both those teams are up for an elimination battle. So we'll be curious to see who they end up fighting. Refuse if Esprit has to face Refuse, it's gonna be a tough matchup for them. But I'm excited to see who it turns out to be. You can never count out the Circle as well out of this. So a European battle will be underway tomorrow. So real exciting stuff coming up. So we have Bear in the chat. I don't believe we have Bear yet. So we'll go ahead and hold off on that until he gets in here. I'd love to hear his perspective on things, but there we go. Bear, pleasure having you back in, man.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me. I hope the energy was there in the stream. Really excited about that game. Wow, what a... Oh, my Lord.
I just want to say, if I had anything to say, is that GBI, I asked what GBI is. And the thing that I get out of that is you guys are a bunch of freaking fighters. Let me tell you, man. Never out, never quit. Even with literally like your tanks, the wool at your back, fighting back with 20 minutes left, getting cap pressure back on fourth point. I mean, what are your thoughts on the match and how GBI did, man?
Oh, it was a special game for us, like it's the first time we've ever not been 5-0'd by SPT, so I think and once, like, everyone knows, man, like on Omaha, when you get pushed back and you're on the beach, it's GG. Like, we were calling GGs when we lost fourth, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, we pulled some miracle defense out of our behind, and just kept rebuilding the Garys. Everyone was so fucking diligent in just keeping the game alive. And, towards the end of the match, we actually went in a really, really good attitude. And the command chat was the best atmosphere I've ever seen. Like, holding and not getting 5-0'd when you're on the beach. Oh, it was just that was the best game for seasonals for me so far. So, Yeah, I mean, we definitely got our shit pushed in, but we still had so much fun playing that game. So
Absolutely. Wix, you got a question for our man Bear?
Well, I did. I mean, first of all, obviously, when we've played Omaha or looked at Omaha's allies, you always say for the allies, it's a 4-point map, right? So
Yeah.
just to echo the huge credit to kind of hang on there and get the pressure. I mean, I think that says a lot about you guys as a team that you didn't kind of fold up and for sure. I mean, ESPT is a measuring stick team for a lot of people. So when you can kind of get some show of progress, that's always great to see. What I wanted to ask about though, just something that happened in the match. It looked like Land Cruise and your Artie player had an
Yes,
unfortunate
yes.
accident. What do you know? It seemed like from chat that he was killed. Do you know anything about the circumstances there? I'm just curious what happened.
Yeah, so obviously it felt like they had more men on the beach than us at one stage, and I don't know what happened maybe in the crossfire, but I think Clownface from ESPT somehow nicked Land Cruiser and Artie, which I'm 100% convinced was just an accident. And then obviously I can't imagine ESPT getting all those, with the HLU logs running, they would have got the 10 team kills on their side. Which didn't really seem to slow them down, but no, it's first time that's happened in quite a while in seasonals, but no, it didn't really affect the match too much. It was pretty stalemate at that point in the game. So
I was kind of watching, and especially on that map, there's such a long run to get to the Artie guns, and obviously after that point, the Esprit players on the beach aren't going to know that that's the Artie guy returning from being killed. So I was kind of watching, and I was like, this is going to get bad because it's going to keep happening. I think if they kill him again, it's gonna keep escalating the punishments or something. Like I'm not sure exactly how all that
honestly,
works.
I didn't even think about that. It was Lane Cruisin was so lucky to get back on those guns.
Yeah, I
because,
watched him run, and there were guys
Yeah.
very close to him. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
100%.
he did his job. He didn't linger. He could have maybe baited it, but no, he ran straight for the gun and got right back on
Yeah.
it. And that was kind of
Oh.
fortunate for you
It's
guys to get
very-
your Artie back, and for
Yeah.
Esprit to not get the escalating punishment that goes with.
Oh, honestly,
continuing to
man,
kill him.
it's a miracle that Lane Cruisin made the run back to the Artie gun, but I tried sporting off that mid cap or that mid HQ several times and to no luck. So it could have been very bad for ESPT if that happened. But no, all good. Crazy game. We're very happy that for us it was a morale victory to our end of our seasonals run. So anyways, thanks for casting, guys. Huge game. Love to be part of it. Thanks everyone. Thanks to seasonals as well.
Absolutely fair. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It was a privilege watching you guys. Real quick, what's next for you guys? What are you guys looking to do after seasonals? You guys have anything coming up?
I'd like to say that we hit our peak, with our last match poster.
Best posters.
That last match.
Best posters, right? At the seasonals.
I checked the reacts, and it's the most reacted post in seasonals history. Is our seasonals match poster against ESPT with Shrek. So pretty happy. Oh, I mean, besides the previous announcement, but going up after this, we're just gonna keep our team alive, keep our community alive. Just we'll probably play some friendlies in the off season, and then we'll see what next year, what Compel Loose has to bring next year. I know it's the competitive scene's not in the most healthiest state it's ever been, but there's no alternative to Hell Let Loose, so I think teams will be sticking around for quite some time yet. So we'll be back into it when tournaments pop up next year, and we'll just keep sort of playing friendlies every now and again till then. So.
Well, we appreciate you, man. It was again absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us your time, man. And we look forward to seeing the re-rise of GBI, and of course the best posters in seasonals history as absolutely as well.
100%, mate. We're just happy that we left our mark here. So thanks for everyone. Thanks for the seasonals for putting up with the Gary Busters. We like to push the limits with our banter, but at the end of the day, man, we're all just here for a laugh, and that's all we want. We just want good laughs, good vibes. So
yeah, we could definitely see that. We appreciate you, Bear. All right, we'll see you later, my man.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Yeah, man. What a great attitude. What a great the great mindset. They just got eliminated from the tournament, and they were like, this is the first time we've ever not gotten 5-0'd against the spree. You know, this was a victory for us. So I love the attitude. I love the mindset. And, you know, I'm looking forward to see what GBI has next, man. They come back stronger. They learn from this and then move forward.
Yeah, definitely a team that has, you know, has shown to be on the rise in the competitive community. So I think I agree with what he's saying. Who knows what competitive Hell Let Loose is going to look like in the future? I think a lot of that depends on, you know, the direction of the game and how that looks. Certainly, there's going to be something next, but you know, we'll look for them to keep improving and, you know, maybe next time get to top 8 or top 6 or whatever's next.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I think we're going to call it for that. We're gonna please stick around. We're gonna go ahead and raid you know, a lucky streamer. So feel free to drop in. I'm Sheepdog. Wix, thank you so much for joining me. You know, couldn't have asked for a better co-caster for this match, my man. So we appreciate you, and of course, shout out as always to Drummer, best stream manager out there. Sorry guys, you can't have her. She's part of the Dogs Den. So, but. Stick around, and we appreciate you joining in. Be sure if you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a follow. We don't do subs in here, so we'll take your follows, but we appreciate you watching. So cheers and have a great night.